The following is a live presentation of CBC Sports.
Out of the dark to the light, I gotta stand up and fight. 'Cause our battle scars make us who we are. Money does not equal wealth, gotta believe in myself. 'Cause the rains may come, but the fire burns on. The fire burns on. The fire burns on. Fire burns. The fire. The fire burns on. The fire burns on.
La Vieille Capitale, Quebec City, for now the center of the universe or Canadian university football. For the sixth time in the last decade, the host city for the Vanier Cup. And the Calgary Dinos come in hungry. The Mitchell Bowl champions have failed to win the national title in their last 4 attempts, last victorious in 1995. Meantime, the Carabins of Montreal looking for their second Vanier Cup. They won the championship dramatically over McMaster in 2014. They hope they're in friendly territory in Quebec City today. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our coverage of the 55th Vanier Cup on CBC. I'm your host, Scott Russell, along with a couple of former McMaster Marauders and CFLers, Mike Morreale and Jesse Lumsden. Broad strokes first, gentlemen. Let's talk about the national championship. And Jesse, for many of the players, the biggest game they'll ever be in.
Biggest game they'll ever be in, potentially the last game that they will ever be in. So emotions are high. You're getting the butterflies. It's exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Mike, two very different football clubs. Your first blush impressions of what the confrontation's about?
Well, it really is going to be the strength of that Dinos offense against the equally strong defense of the Carabins and teams that have not faced each other ever. So anything can happen.
Dinos and Carabins for the national championship. And the game is taking place in Quebec City at Laval University. And on the sidelines there to bring us up to speed on all the characters, there's Andy Petrillo.
Scott, Carabin kicker Louis-Philippe Simoneau was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma in January of this year. Entering his final year of university, all he could think about was remaining on the football team. Now, he underwent chemotherapy from February to July, all the while having the support of his teammates and head coach Danny Machocha. And not only did LP win the toughest battle of his life, he beat cancer. He did, in fact, make the football team. But his ultimate prize came with his girlfriend, Catherine. So when did you know, when you were going through your chemo treatments, that this was your companion for life?
At the debut, so the first days, but she stayed with me two weeks and a half at the hospital, and one day she go outside and with friends, and my parent came, and I told my parent if I came exit with the remission, I will demand her. So yeah.
And she said yes.
Yes, she said yes.
For LP, this is his third trip to the Vanier Cup final. 2015 heartbreak, a loss to UBC, but the year before, he kicked the winning field goal to give Montreal the Vanier Cup title in 2014. He'll be looking to lift his team to the promised land once again. And gentlemen, a lineup note, Jean Giraud will in fact be playing today. Scott?
Thanks, Andy. A big weapon for the Carabins is in. A strong third quarter ultimately pushed Montreal to a 38-0 win over the Acadia Axemen in the UTEC Bowl last Saturday, 14-0 early in the third. This 16-yard touchdown pass from Dimitri Morin to Kevin Kaya proved to put the game out of reach for Montreal. Meantime, last Saturday's Mitchell Bowl between the Calgary Dinos and McMaster Marauders saw the Dinos' multi-pronged attack flourish on their way to a 30-17 win, led by quarterback Adam Sinagra and the Philpott twins, Tyson and Jalen. This offense flexed its big play muscle. Back with Mike and with Jesse to take a look at the big matchup of the day, and that, of course, is at the quarterback position. Here they are, the superstar for Calgary, Adam Sinagra, last year of eligibility from Pointe Claire, Quebec. Great passing stats, exceptional leader, the 2018 Heck Crichton winner as U Sports Player of the Year. For the Carabins, third-year communication student, Dimitri Morin from Aylmer, Quebec, spent much of the year backing up Fred Paquette-Perreault, but he moved the football against Acadia. Jesse, why don't you take Sinagra?
Big reason why he won that 2018 Heck Crichton Trophy and was because of the 3,000 yards passing he had last year. Numbers a little lower in 2019. A big reason of that is because of a more balanced offensive attack. Also because of some adversity that the team faced throughout the season. Some injuries definitely hurt the receiving core and didn't allow him to have the same sort of receivers that he had all season long, allowed people to step up. One thing I really like about Adam Sinagra, great vision downfield, and he spreads the love really, really nicely. He will expect to hear a lot of Calgary Dinos receivers' names called today.
And Mike, Dimitri Morin doesn't have the stats, but he's got to move the football.
No, absolutely. Doesn't have the stats, doesn't have the awards, but he has a 9-2 record, the same as Sinagra, and they're both in the Vanier Cup. He's 119 for 183 for 1,327 yards on the year. He's got 3 TDs versus 5 interceptions, but he's got something secret in his back pocket. That's Anthony Calvillo, the assistant head coach and quarterback coach.
You got to love that. Anthony Calvillo is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in the CFL. The head coach of the Montreal Carabins is, well, it's Danny Machocha, who won a Grey Cup with Edmonton. He's also won the Vanier Cup, and he's standing by with Andy Petrillo.
Danny, 3 times in 6 seasons, Montreal has made the Vanier Cup final. What has led to that type of consistency?
Well, I think I'm a firm believer in having a well-structured program that's aligned and that shares the same vision and values. And there's been continuity also in our program with the leadership from up above. So, like I said, it's a great team. It's not only the players, it's not only the coaches, it's also the administrators and everybody that's associated at the University of Montreal.
Regular season, you average 18 points a game, but in the playoffs, what an uptick, now 34 points. What's led to the offense connecting?
Well, I think clarity. I think a little bit more consistency. It's a system that we clearly changed at the beginning of the season, something we worked on during the off season. So I think it took a little bit of time for our players to have a good understanding of it. And but it's paid dividends for us in the second season, the postseason play. I think we've scored more touchdowns the last 3 weeks than we did the whole regular season. So that's encouraging going into this game.
Good luck today.
Thank you very much.
Danny Machocha and Montreal will have their hands full with the explosive Calgary Dinos. We'll continue to build the kickoff. You're watching the 55th Vanier Cup on CBC. Welcome back. The fans are in the house. TELUS Stadium, and the place the locals call the PEPS, the physical education facility at Laval University in Quebec City. Here's Andy Petrillo with Dinos head coach Wayne Harris Jr.
Wayne, given the rash of injuries you guys had to deal with this year, especially at key positions, you still managed to finish with a 6-2 record. Here you are, national title game. What did you learn about your team this season?
Well, really fighting through a lot of adversity, the resiliency of the program and the players, just believing in themselves and one another, and they've done a great job handling all those situations.
The last 3 times you've been in the Vanier Cup final, you've faced a team from Quebec, but all 3 times it's been Laval. First ever meeting between Calgary and Montreal here. Does it change the way you prepare for an opponent that you don't know that well?
Well, not a whole lot. You know, you're still going to do the things that you do, and you're just preparing to get to know the team, Montreal team, as best as you can based on the film that we've seen, but we're going to do the things that we've done all year.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Andy. It figures to be an explosive offense versus a swarming defense. And to further set it up, the Dinos and the Carabins, a couple of ex-quarterbacks. Here are Mark Lee and Justin Dunn.
Scott, the Montreal quarterback situation was up in the air until about an hour ago. Paquette Perreault will not dress. He was the quarterback that beat Laval to help get the Carabins to this big game. What are the implications?
Well, it means Morin is going to start, and also the Montreal Carabins are going to use the Wildcat, which means running backs and receivers at the quarterback position. Number 29, Giroux, has been taking snaps all week long in practice, as has number 13, Chabot. So both of those guys will be running the football and potentially even throwing it too for Montreal.
Calgary was banged up all year on offense, especially at receiver, but they're healthy today. And Danny Machocha says preparing for this powerful offense has given him some sleepless nights.
That's right. The Philpots certainly have, and everyone knows about those twins. Carl and both in your screen are fifth-year seniors, played in the Vanier Cup before, banged up but healthy for the Vanier Cup. Some senior leadership for the Dinos.
So Montreal with a big hole on offense, and Calgary ready to fire on all 8 cylinders here in the Vanier Cup. Scott?
Thank you so much to Mark and Justin. For the Calgary Dinos, this is their 11th Vanier Cup appearance. They have a 4-6 record. For the Carabin of Montreal, third trip to the Vanier Cup. They're 1-1. Let's go to the PA announcer, Christian Cote.
Thomas Zerg, les statisticiens sont Denis Martin de Ramponnier, il est dans la rue, Richard Martin et bon. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez maintenant vous lever pour l'hymne national qui sera interprété par la musique 35e groupe musical du Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for a national anthem?
The 430th Tactical Helicopter Squadron buzzing TELUS Stadium, and we're ready to go in the 55th Vanier Cup from TELUS Stadium. Montreal meeting Calgary for the first time in their history. 2 powerhouse programs from east and west on a good day for football. -3 degrees, but a good wind, a tough wind out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. So with the wind chill, it feels about -10. But these are 2 teams used to playing late season playoff football. There's Danny Machocha, the only coach in Canada to win both the Grey Cup and the Vanier Cup. He won the CFL title with Edmonton in 2005 and the Vanier Cup with the Carabin in 2014. His 3rd appearance in 6 years in the Vanier Cup. And there's Wayne Harris Jr. He's the son of a Grey Cup champion and one of several pieces of this Dino machine with CFL pedigree. This is his 5th season as Calgary's head coach, his 2nd appearance in the Vanier Cup, losing to Laval in 2016. Here are the starting quarterbacks here today. Dimitri Morin came off the bench last week in the 2nd quarter of the UTEC Bowl, led the Carabin to 24 unanswered points in the 3rd quarter and a 38-0 victory over Acadia. And Adam Sinagra is the consensus #1 quarterback in the country. The Heck Creighton Trophy winner 1 year ago with record-breaking numbers. He's come back to Quebec City with a more balanced offense that he thinks is ready to win this title. The Carabin, their defense has been their strong suit, but they will start on offense today. The Dinos won the coin toss, Justin Dunk, and they have deferred as Nico DeFonte gets ready to tee it up. And the Carabin, who will be missing one of their key quarterbacks, Frédéric Paquette-Perreault, will start on offense. Fans still filing into Tela Stadium. The ball is on the tee. Reda Malki and Carl Chabot are back to return from Montreal on a brisk afternoon in La Belle Province. It's the Dinos and the Carabin in the final university football game of the season. Defonte puts the ball aloft and we're underway in the 55th Vanier Cup. It's Chabot at his 18, tries to come to the wide side and there's nowhere to go as the Dino kickoff cover is there to swarm him. A 1-yard return for this freshman who has increasingly been a factor for this football team this year offensively. And they will start Jean Girard coming back from a shoulder injury in that backfield in a rushing attack that will be paramount for a Montreal offense that has struggled to score this season.
Really haven't. Because of that, we could see some Wildcat with Giroux in at quarterback today, but Morin starts under center for the Carabin.
First down Montreal. Morin turns and he will hand off. They'll stay on the ground and tough sledding up the gut. This is a Montreal team that scored only 7 touchdowns this year.
Charlie Moore was in on that tackle. He leads this Dinos defense, making all the calls in the middle. They've been stingy in the Canada West, led by a strong linebacking core and an even better secondary. Dean Leonard and Nick Stats, 2 of the best halfbacks in the country.
2nd and 8 for the Carabin. They go to a 5-receiver set with 4 receivers to the wide side. Looking to the short side is Morin. He's got pressure. He dumps the ball off. Giroux picks it up and he'll have the first down. Oh, he takes a hellacious hit. Trayshawn Abrahams-Webster coming up from the field corner position, but there's an injured Dino on the field and it's Charlie Moore, one of their key parts in that linebacking core.
And we just talked about him, a vocal leader for the Dinos on that defense. Wayne Harris looking on. That is not a player that you want to see down and clearly in agony early in the football game. You can see he's chasing down Giroux from the backside and actually gets a piece of him on that tackle. Looks like his arm got wrapped up there, getting looked at by the trainers.
Charlie Moore from South Delta, BC, in his 3rd season, was 2nd in tackles for the Dinos this year. He's a key piece in that defense.
He really is. And Giroux out in space where he likes to be. Played a little bit of receiver in CJEP before he got to Montreal, and more on the tackle there. Mark, you mentioned it. The South Delta connection has been a strong one for the Calgary Dinos. So much so, Calgary Flames general manager Brad Treliving came out and wished the Dinos well before they went on to win the Hardy Cup. So lots of support from the Calgary area behind the Dinos.
So this is a serious loss for Calgary if Charlie Moore has to leave the game for good, and he is still down at the 35. Moore had an interception in the Hardy Cup. Has been a mainstay of this defense.
And we just referenced it. There's the South Delta connection with the Calgary Dinos. Brad Treliving, the GM of the Calgary Flames. You can see there number 9, Grant McDonald, also a linebacker on the team. Charlie Moore, of course, number 50. And then you have Kirk on the end, number 49. All South Delta products. So they've really built a pipeline from BC to Calgary, and it's paid dividends for the Dinos.
Charlie Moore is still down on the field as concern continues to be evident, and now they're taking a golf cart out onto the field, so this is very serious indeed, as Moore has yet to move after that big contact with the Carabin running back Jean Girard. Now, Calgary has come loaded defensively. They expected this to be a hard-hitting football game. They have dressed 8 defensive linemen, and another 8 linebackers. So they are loaded for bear defensively, but this is a big, big loss.
It really would be. A physical matchup was anticipated by the Calgary Dinos, but to lose one of your leaders on the defense, one of the guys that helps gets everyone aligned properly on literally the second snap of the game, not an ideal situation for the Dinos. Fortunately, behind Moore, Ross DeLaw could step up into his place. A senior player, has lots of experience in the Calgary defensive scheme.
Just looking at that replay, he didn't take a big hit there. It was an awkward shot up on the shoulder area as he went by on the tackle.
Yeah, it looked like he just got something twisted up the wrong way, and you can only hope that it's not a seriously long injury for Moore as we get a look at head coach Wayne Harris there. Certainly not the start that he would have expected.
Here's another look at Moore. Did he have some head contact there from his own teammate?
Could have caught him under the chin.
Being very careful, the medical personnel here in Quebec City.
That's Ross DeLaw, a senior linebacker, has had lots of experience. At one time a starter for the Dinos, so he'll look to step up to fill the void if Moore, who looks to be out for a while, obviously will keep a monitor on him.
This Calgary football team all year has had to deal with injuries. Most of them were on offense. But, I mean, they were so beaten up at one point at receiver, they had to put their backup quarterback, Joseph, in at receiver.
That's right. 70 man games out of 200 lost to injury for the Dinos, but it was almost reverse, that they were hurt at the start of the season and they now have gotten healthy all the way through the playoffs up until this point.
So Wayne Harris is weighing his options. He has inserted Ross DeLaw, the 5th-year linebacker from Lethbridge, to come in for Charlie Moore. But, you know, between Moore and Grant McDonald, those are the two guys that really run that big defensive middle for Calgary. And so his absence will be felt for sure.
And both players helped out in that Mitchell Bowl win over the McMaster Marauders, obviously, and even more so in the Hardy Cup when they had to face Adam Mackhart, the Saskatchewan Huskies running back that went for over 1,300 yards in the regular season, contained him enough in the Hardy Cup. Those two linebackers did, Moore and McDonald, but one of them here looks like they're going to be nicked up.
It's really hard to tell what the issue is, but they're being very careful as we look back at that Mitchell Bowl in Calgary as Jalen Philpott was on the board. Then there's Josiah Joseph, who comes in short yardage. Play action this time, and wide open is Grant McDonald, who is a transfer student from the University of Maine, where he was a tight end as a Div 1 athlete. And boy, McMaster found out he's still got those good hands.
Yeah, he does, and part of the reason McDonald came back to the Calgary program was because of his brother, Jack McDonald, who's a receiver for the Calgary Dinos, was already there. That's one of the major injuries that they sustained to that receiving corps. Jack McDonald and Alex Basilis both went down early in the season against the UBC Thunderbirds with season-ending injuries. So the brother connection brought McDonald back to the Dinos, and he's going to have to play an even bigger role in the game with Moore going out.
So they're getting Moore up off the field, and he is actually walking now. Look at that warrior. You have to wonder if it has something to do with his head or his neck, the way they were being so careful before moving him. They had the golf cart out on the field to take him off, but Charlie Moore, who also doubles as the team barber and did all those lovely hairdos, is making his way to the sidelines.
You know, it's going to take a lot to get him off the field. 8 tackles for loss. Sometimes lives in the opponent's offensive backfield, and the sign for Moore walking off has to be a positive one for the Calgary Dinos. It is going to take a lot to have him sit on the sideline for the rest of the game.
How does this affect Morin and the Carabin, who got a first down on the play, and now they had to stand out there for upwards to, what, 5-10 minutes? We'll see how they react as they set up on first down at their own 31-yard line. Play action. Morin with time. Now he's in trouble, and down he goes. And the ball is loose. Dimitri Morin sacked, and they will retain possession, but a close call there as Calgary came calling.
Max Batar, numbers 97, pushing the pocket. And Josh Heyer comes off the edge. He's the man that initially leaps, blocks the passing lane for Dimitri Morin, and then the ball is loose on the turf. The Carabin lucky to get it back as the Dinos swarm all kinds of bodies. Heyer, Batar, Jamin Pelly, all the defensive linemen meet at the quarterback.
Loss of 1 on the first sack of the game by the Calgary defense. 2nd and 11. Passing down, here they come again, and he's sacked. No, he gets free, what an escape, and Chabot takes the flat pass. Carl Chabot down the sideline and finally knocked out of bounds inside the Calgary 40. How did the Montreal quarterback escape?
Morin showing his escape ability. Looked like it was going to be a sack, and he was down in the pocket. Trayshawn Abrahams-Webster misses the tackle, and then he finds Chabot wide open spaces. That's the Carabin's Julian Edelman, if you will. He can shake free in the slot, stays alive on the scramble play, and wide open for his quarterback Morin after he escapes all of that trouble. Massive play for a Montreal offense that has had lots of trouble scoring.
43-yard gain on the pass from Morin to Chabot. And the Carabin with another big first down. Morin, flat pass out of the backfield to that big running back, Bertrand Beaulieu, the freshman from Haiti. And he makes the catch and have a gain of about 5 yards on the play. But Morin has come out firing here in the opening drive for Montreal and showing his escapability.
That has to be a confidence builder for Morin, who was the starter for the Carabin throughout most of the regular season, Mark, but now inserted back into that role in the biggest game of the season in the Vanier Cup, showing the nerves aren't going to bother him at all.
Morin 3 for 3 through the air for 60 yards so far. He was pulled in week 7 against a non-playoff team, Sherbrooke, when he coughed up 2 interceptions. And that's when Frédéric Paquette-Perreault took over. Of course, he is unable to dress today with a suspected concussion. 2nd and 5. Morin in the pocket. He's in trouble. They've got him. And it is Jamin Pelly, that massive nose tackle at 6'6", 320, that gets his meat hooks on the Montreal quarterback.
The 350-plus pounder can push the pocket in a variety of ways. Even though he's weighing that much, he can still get off the ball very quickly and then just uses his sheer strength to bully the offensive lineman all the way back into Morin and makes the tackle. Fortunately for Morin, the big fella didn't fall on top of him because that would have hurt, but Pelly actually spent time with the Calgary Stampeders in 2017 on their practice roster, debated whether or not to sign with the Stamp, but fortunately for the Dinos, came to Calgary.
A 43-yard attempt for Louis-Philippe Simoneau. The ball is up and wide left with the wind at his back, and the Dinos will take it out of the end zone. It's Jalen Philpott, that dangerous returner, who is brought down. He nearly got a seam on that missed field goal return for Calgary. So Simoneau, who has come back after battling cancer this year, going through 6 sessions of chemotherapy, misses on the first scoring opportunity for the Carabin.
And he's normally been clutch for Montreal. Surprising miss there.
So the Dinos dodge a bullet as the Carabin are wide on their 43-yard field goal attempt, and Calgary on offense when we come back to Quebec City. The 2019 U Sports Vanier Cup is brought to you by Pro Mutual Insurance, proud presenting sponsor of the Vanier Cup. Wilson, the official football of U Sports. The Globe and Mail, national media partner of U Sports. Nike Team, official performance apparel provider to U Sports. Fox 40, proud sponsor of the U Sports Coach of the Year Awards. And by Sport Canada, funding partner of U Sports. First down, Calgary at their 34. Adam Sinagra, the best quarterback in the country, at work. He's got time, gets the ball out of the backfield. It's incomplete. Intended for Nathaniel Durkin to force a 2nd and 10 situation. Remember, it was a year ago that Sinagra won the Heck Crichton right here in Quebec City. He got to the microphone to accept the award and said, when I come back, I'll be back next year with my team to win the Vanier Cup, and he is. But look at the weapons he has to work with.
Certainly, Jalen Philpott leads the way, the leading receiver for the Dinos all season long. A more balanced attack, as you can see, the rushing yards up, passing yards down, but that's by design with offensive coordinator Pat Shan coming in and taking over for his son Ryan Shan, who is now the head coach at the University of Guelph.
Philpott, a powerhouse in the playoffs with 15 catches for 236 yards and 2 touchdowns. He returned a kickoff against Manitoba in the semifinal for 97 yards and a touchdown. In the first game, they had him in the lineup as a kick returner. And this is bad news for Montreal. Marc-Antoine Duquois, their star defensive halfback, is out of the game and getting some medical attention.
And the man that Sinagra is going to look to potentially exploit that injury, Jalen Philpott, has been an absolute star in the regular season and carried it on into the playoffs. A big Hardy Cup game, and even bigger in the Mitchell Bowl, 130 yards in the air.
2nd and 10, the ball is out. It's complete to Hunter Carl, but he'll be short of the first down. So Sinagra is getting time to throw. He finds the All-Canadian from a year ago and one of his favorite receivers for a gain of 6. It'll be 3rd and 4 in a punting situation for Calgary.
But short of the first down, Carl, the 5th-year veteran, comes up short of the stick. Sinagra long throw, and you can see wobbles in the air. A bit of a crosswind here at TELUS Stadium in Laval might affect some of those passes.
DeFonte to punt, an average of just under 40 yards a punt this season in the regular schedule. And one man back for Montreal. It is Carl Chabot, the freshman who's ever dangerous. A shank punt from DeFonte, bouncing at the 45. Chabot will get it at his own 40. The pint-sized returner gets a seam. He's outside now. Carl Chabot angled out of bounds by Cole Cussman. And they're on Calgary's side of center field to start this second offensive series. But this kid, through the course of the season, has been getting more touches. And we talked to the Laval defensive coordinator yesterday, and he was saying just how dangerous this kid is.
Mark Fortier said that he was a weapon to watch on the Carabin side, and you can see it as a returner, as a receiver already, and he's going to run some wildcat at some point today too and take some snaps from under center.
Dimitri Morin. Hands off. It's Reda Malky. Finds an edge and powers his way off tackle. Brought down by Salim Fraser for Calgary, but this is a man who has been a powerhouse in the absence of Giroux on the ground for Montreal in the playoffs.
Literally, Mark, the more powerful back of the Carabin duo in the backfield there, Malky and Giroux. You can see him picking his way, patiently waits for the kick-out block to come, turns it up the field, shoulder square to the line of scrimmage.
Gain of 8, make it 2nd and 2 for the Carabin. Motion to the wide side. It's play action. Morin staying in the pocket, throwing deep downfield for Kevin Kaya. And the Frenchman cannot make the catch. Kaya, who is a 3rd-year receiver out of Nancy, France. And it's incomplete. The first incomplete pass thrown by Morin so far in this football game.
One of the French nationals on the Carabin roster. You can see him going one-on-one there with Nick Stats, the Calgary Stampeders draft pick. Clearly a size advantage there for Kaya, but Morin just overshoots that play-action deep ball. He's going to want that one back. A surefire touchdown missed by Morin.
Kaya has been outstanding in the playoffs with 96 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. And so a punting situation for Montreal as Alain Penverne stands at midfield. He has an average this year of 41 yards a punt. Penverne gets an end-over-end punt taken by Jalen Philpott at his goal line. Jalen Philpott is taken down hard at his own 5-yard line. A 5-yard return for the elusive 2nd-year twin brother of Tyson Philpott.
Dangerous as a returner. You got to wrap him up. The Carabin have done a wonderful job so far.
Montreal flipping the field. Calgary will start on their 5 when we come back to Quebec City. Welcome back to the 55th Vanier Cup from TELUS Stadium in Quebec City. The Dinos and Carabin scoreless midway through this first quarter. And we saw Charlie Moore go down for Calgary in that opening offensive series, and we do not see Marc-Antoine Ducroix, the star defensive halfback, on the field on this Montreal defense. So that would be a huge loss for a player who's attracted NFL attention. On the ground come the Dinos in a big rush up the middle. It's Robinson Rodriguez taking the ball at least 20 yards up the gut to help get Calgary out of tough field position.
Clutch run from Robinson Rodriguez early on. Breaks a tackle there from Brian Arilamana, the outstanding Carabin linebacker. Gets the Dinos offense some breathing room. He's been very key in getting Calgary to the Vanier Cup. 126 yards rushing against Mac in the Mitchell Bowl.
He runs low, he runs hard. 5 receivers set. Here's Sinagra to pass. He's in trouble and sacked. Down goes Sinagra for the first time as that free safety, Ethan Macanzo, got there in a cover 0 package.
And Levesque as well, number 45, the true Mike linebacker. Both areas of pressure coming from different levels. A linebacker getting free. Levesque was the first man in there. And then, as you mentioned, Mark, the safety, Macanzo, there to help take Sinagra down, as Montreal will dial it up sometimes and try to keep you off balance. The first wrinkle we've seen from the Carabin D.
Loss of 5, make it 2nd and 15. Montreal, or rather Calgary. Time now, Sinagra throwing deep downfield for Jalen Philpott. He goes up where it makes the catch at center field. Oh, double coverage, and they still couldn't stop Jalen Philpott.
Add one more, Mark. Triple coverage as Sinagra trusting his deep target. Jalen Philpott showing off the hops, going up and getting the football in major traffic for his quarterback. 1, 2, 3, even 4 defenders around him at the end of the play. Doesn't matter for Philpott. Continues to be clutch for the Dinos.
It's a gain of 40 and first down at midfield for Calgary. Here comes the Montreal blitz. They set up the screen. Rodriguez cuts back to the middle of the field. He'll have a first down and a gain of about 12 on the play as this big Calgary offense begins to rumble, starting this drive at their own 5-yard line.
Sinagra sets up that screen pass to Rodriguez to perfection, held on to it until the absolute last second, and you can see it's just Rodriguez and one of his big hoggies, Nicastro, out in front of him, cuts back inside as the Dinos find a rhythm on offense.
First down, Calgary at the 43 of the Carabin. This is the toughest defense they think they've ever faced this season. Here comes more pressure from Montreal. Sinagra has to bail. Sinagra is going to run with the football. He'll get a block and slip out of bounds before Jean-Sebastien Bellil can get a lick on him, but he steps out right near the first down marker.
Sinagra, so common in the playoffs, has really shown that dual threat ability, able to escape pressure. You can see Cramdy on the strong side of the field, number 1 for the Carabin. Couldn't get home and then unable to chase him down as Sinagra escapes pressure and moves the chains for the Dinos. They're an even more dangerous offense when Sinagra is using his legs.
The book on Sinagra is he may be at his best as a passer when he's facing the blitz. He'll find those open receivers. First down, Calgary at the 33 of Montreal. Into the flats he goes. It's complete to Dallas Both as he gets drilled into the Montreal bench by Reda Cramdy, the Sam linebacker for Montreal.
Wayne Harris has to like what he's seeing out of his offense, mixing the run with the pass. Dallas Both, the 5th-year senior there on the reception, has Vanier Cup experience from 2016 against the Laval Rougeaur. That was a loss. Calgary trying to change that result today.
2nd and 5 Dinos. Ball at the 28 of the Carabin. As Calgary, with all kinds of motion, will go to play action. Another screen. It's complete to Tyson Philpott, but the Carabin waiting for that, and they'll have tackled him for a loss of 2 on the play as Bruno Lagacé makes the tackle for the Carabin, the 2nd-year man out of Montreal.
Montreal's defense that has been so difficult to score against all season long stiffens up as it gets close to the red zone. You can see that closing speed to track down Tyson Philpott, who has elite speed in the Canadian game.
So this will set up a field goal situation for Nick DeFonte and the Dinos from the 37-yard line. DeFonte's longest this year from 51. He has a big leg. He's been injured. earlier this year, but is back to top form. From the 37, DeFonte's kick is up into the wind and wide right. Another missed field goal, and Chabot will take it out of the end zone for Montreal, and he'll be tackled for a return of 8 yards on the play.
Credit the Calgary cover unit for getting down there, covering a little bit longer of a field goal, and Montreal is going to have a long way to go. That almost acts as a punt for the Calgary Dinos.
So because the ball was brought out of the end zone, they will spot it at the 20-yard line, and that's where the Carabin will scrimmage on offense when we return to the Vanier Cup.
Welcome back here at the 55th Vanier Cup on CBC Sports. Still no score in this one, but an update from the Calgary Dino lineup. Linebacker Charlie Moore is done for the day. We know the storyline when it comes to Calgary is having to overcome all the injuries this season. Charlie Moore himself had to miss a game due to a shoulder injury. He was visibly upset, sitting on the bench, didn't want to leave. Had a lot of his teammates coming up to him, consoling him, patting him on the back. You know this is a tough one to miss, but Charlie Moore done for the day. Gentlemen.
Red Jaw Giroux in the Wildcat formation, and a massive gain of 28 yards on the play. And we knew that they'd be trying this with the injury to Paquette-Perreault at quarterback, mixing it up on offense.
The Carabin practiced it all week long with Giroux taking the snap, fakes the reverse there to Chabot, gets into the open field, and you can see why he's so dangerous. A slashing runner, really likes the ability to get into the open field. That's where he feels like he's most dangerous, and the Carabin attack that underman linebacking unit.
And Giroux can throw the ball. He takes the handoff, off tackle, lowers the boom. He missed the last game in the UTEC Bowl because of a stinger, a pinched nerve in his shoulder, and was good to go late this week in practice. Giroux telling us that he plays touch football in the summer and he plays quarterback. He says, I also throw off the Wildcat, and now he's injured and is down on one knee. So we wondered about his physical state because it wasn't until late in the week that they gave him the green light to dress for this football game after missing the UTEC Bowl. Remember, he had that shoulder injury.
On the last play, Moran came back in at quarterback and hands off to Giroux. Looks like he just took a shot to the midsection there from Abrahams Webster. Maybe just knocked the wind out of him, just needs a minute to get his breath back. Hopefully, if you're the Carabin.
Giroux was Montreal's leading rusher this year with 578 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, but he was also their #2 receiver. This is what makes him so dangerous, is that he's equally as lethal coming out of the backfield as a receiver, and as we just saw in the previous play, running the Wildcat offense for the Carabin.
And a player that you can't afford to lose, especially for Montreal that has struggled to score points all season long. You can look at the difference. They've ramped it up in the playoffs to get to the Vanier Cup.
Malky is in for Giroux at running back in a 2nd and 7, and Moran now audibly out of that call. 2nd and 7, pressure from Calgary, flags flying, and did the play clock get to 0 as there was some panic there as Moran tried to change the call and get it off on time. We'll have to wait and hear.
Time count. Montreal.
There's Kevin Mickelborough working on his French here in this bilingual football game. The veteran from Hamilton, Ontario, getting the call to be the referee and in charge of the conduct of the game here in the 55th Vanier Cup.
And there you see Noel Thorpe, formerly worked with Danny Machocha as part of the staff with the Montreal Carabin, is now the Ottawa Red Blacks defensive coordinator, so all kinds of support for the Carabin.
2nd and 12. Carabin, 4-man rush from Calgary. Moran with a crossing pass, and it's complete to Raphael Major Desjardins, the 4th-year student from Maria, but well short, just back to the original line of scrimmage. And so the Carabin will have to turn the ball over in a punting situation for this young receiver who came out of U.S. prep high schools, as opposed to the CEGEP route that most of the Quebec-based athletes take to get to the U Sport level. So Penvern to punt, standing at his own 35. Jalen Philpott is the lone returner for Calgary, an end-over-end punt that bounces out of bounds as Penvern is keeping that ball away from the dangerous Jalen Philpott.
The blue hair flowing out the back for Penvern, and if anything, with the Philpotts returning, you want to make sure you err on the side of kicking that ball out of bounds. Don't give it to them into the middle of the field. That's where they're so dangerous.
Adam Sinagra had those gaudy numbers last year when he won the Heck Crichton, a U Sports record, 3,233 yards passing. This year he's down by almost 1,300 yards, but this offense is more balanced with Pat Shan, an offensive coordinator built for the playoffs. And there they go, running the ball. Rodriguez is swarmed by this Montreal defense that is so encouraging. This is such a tight defensive unit as they flow to the ball. They call themselves the Carabums. I mean, they are a bunch of renegades. That's how they operate.
They really are. And one of those renegades is on the bench, Dequoy, and in for him, as you see on your screen, number 4, Joseph, taking his spot at the strong side halfback position. They don't often blitz Dequoy because of what he means in terms of back end coverage, so it could be a huge loss if the Dinos exploit.
2nd and 7. Sinagra with the crossing route is complete to Dallas both with a straight arm rather, and finally wrestled out of bounds just shy of the 45-yard line. But that is the key. Will they go after Joseph?
And that's right in that area. You can see both beats Joseph on the play. The crossing route coming from the short side of the field to the strong side. Sinagra spots it to both, who with his legs picks up the first down for the Calgary Dinos, and more yardage tacked on. Roughing the quarterback called on the Montreal Carabins, so that means Sinagra draws some extra yardage for his team. You can see that's Marion taking a shot, and you can't do that in the Vanier Cup right in front of the officials.
He's the ringleader. He was telling us, I'm ready to punch a few guys in the mouth. Yesterday at practice, he was all fired up. First down at the 50, and another stoppage here as Mickleborough blows his whistle to stop this play before it gets started. And look at that, Marion is already having words with one of the offensive linemen for Calgary. Here's the call. Appears to be some confusion on the field. Maybe where they spotted that football. They've now moved it to the 51-yard line, so it was not spotted properly. And we'll try again on first down, but Marion was already having words. He's like a longshore brawler at that rush end position for the Carabins. Here comes the Montreal blitz, and flags fly again. And this looks like it might be motion on the Calgary side of the ball, as the Carabins are saying it's going back.
Procedure, Calgary.
The procedure called against the Dinos offense was both across the line.
Just barely. That might have even been Tyson Philpott on the outside, who's in a static stance, moving a little bit early as well.
So it'll be first down repeated and 15 to go. Sinagra has looked sharp at quarterback on the previous drive. He was 4 for 4 for 56 yards before that missed field goal. Play action, gets the ball away to Tyson Philpott. Oh, look at that, breaking ankles as he gets by Sam Rossi and scoots upfield for a short gain of about 6 on the play. So the Philpott twins showing their moves at breakneck speed. Calgary with a 2nd and long situation when we continue our coverage of the Vanier Cup.
Well, there was a little bit of panic yesterday when the game balls were held up in custody. customs yesterday, a total of 72 of them, and that was because of paperwork, a little misunderstanding. But either way, the balls did not arrive in time, and a Wilson representative had to drive them in from Montreal just to make sure they got here, and Laval equipment staff had to work late to make sure the balls are prepped. As you know, they like to sand them down, get them ready, make them a little bit more sticky for the players here. So a little overnight work there to make sure the game balls are ready for the 2019 Vanier Cup. Now an update when it comes to the Montreal Carabin. Marc-Antoine Decoy, he will not be in the lineup for the second quarter. He will be reassessed at halftime, but as of right now, he will be out and reassessed till the second half.
Adam Sinagra with a deep ball for Jalen Philpott, and it's complete again. Sinagra now good on 9 of 10 attempts in this football game.
Sinagra throwing that deep corner out to Jalen Philpott, one of their staples in the Dinos offense, going over the top for a big-time play. Philpott doing it again for the Dinos. Sinagra looks like he's on point today in Quebec City.
30 yards. The hookup between Sinagra and Philpott. Across the middle, it's complete to Dallas Both. He takes a big lick as he gets to the 15-yard line. And once again, Calgary threatening a scoreless football game to start this second quarter, but it's been awfully good as we look at the first quarter stats powered by Wilson.
What jumps off the page to me is the Dinos' time of possession, over 8 minutes in the first quarter, really controlling the pace of the game. 96 yards passing, 31 on the ground. They're going to want to be a little more balanced throughout the game.
Sinagra in the red zone. It's in behind Both and incomplete, with Bruno Lagacé right there, and Sinagra wants that one back on that 2nd and 5. The field goal unit has to come out again. That's 2 drives that could have been absolutely perfect that end with a field goal attempt.
Sinagra yelling to the skies because Both had a few steps on his man Lagacé coming across the middle. That could have been a potential touchdown connection if Sinagra can put the football on the money, but it's behind Both. Completion costs the Dinos a shot at a TD.
Nick DeFonte, who's been wide on his first attempt, will try this from the 23-yard line. Hunter Carl to hold. The ball is up and good. And the first points are on the scoreboard in this 55th Vanier Cup on a 23-yard field goal by Nico DeFonte, who was on and off the roster this year with leg injuries. His field goal percentage was the worst in the Can West at 38%. He only was good on 6 of 16, but now that leg is back, and now he's striking that ball the way he used to.
That's right, Mark. How that started originally was in training camp. He overkicked. DeFonte, just such a perfectionist and always wants to be putting more power into his leg. The famous kick that was heard around the world, if you will, a 59-yarder in the 2017 Hardy Cup. So you know he's got the leg, but they wanted to rein him back a little bit, which has helped get him healthy for the Vanier Cup.
There's another injured Carabin. Byron Archambault, the linebacker coach and special teams coach, who was a member of the 2014 Vanier Cup champions here at the Carabin organization.
He was a captain for the Montreal Carabin on defense, was their middle linebacker on that Vanier Cup winning team, and it looks like their star middle linebacker is down on the field as Sinagra going over the offense with Jabari Arthur, the receivers coach, a former Calgary Stampeder first-round pick in the CFL. He relays the calls to Sinagra with Pat Shane, the offensive coordinator, up in the booth as they work on Levesque.
This would be another big loss for the Carabin. Jean-Philippe Levesque, the 4th-year player out of Saint Paul de la Croix, Quebec, phys ed major. As you say, is the rock middle at Mike linebacker for this Carabin defense. He takes on offensive linemen, powerfully built athlete. Danny Machocha is not only the head coach, he's the defensive coordinator for this Carabin team, and this doesn't look good for Levesque as he is helped off the field and unable to put any weight on his left leg. Michael Carpentier is the backup at middle linebacker, but he's a freshman. So with Decoy out and now the starting middle linebacker Levesque, this very stout Montreal defense missing 2 key starters. First down for Dimitri Morin and the Carabin to start this drive at their own 40. They'll hand off. It's Rich-Jean Giroux, and he is hit for a loss on the play. Grant McDonald, the middle linebacker, in there as the Stampeders sniff that out.
Delaw in the game for Charlie Moore in on the tackle as well. A slow developing run play, a counter to the strong side of the field. Oyasoro and Grant McDonald comes over the top to finish it off. The Mitchell Bowl defensive MVP for the Dinos in on the tackle along with the senior Delaw.
So a loss of about a foot on the play. Second and a little more than 10 for Montreal. Inside their 40. Here comes the Calgary blitz. Morin fires the ball across the middle, incomplete, skipping off the turf, intended for Carl Chabot, and now there's a flag in the Montreal backfield well after the play.
Matt Lasician, the free safety, coming downhill, lays a lick on Morin, and we have a flag that has come after the play. It looks like Giroux was talking to the official, Kevin Mickleborough. That might have been the infraction.
Here's Kevin Mickleborough to sort this out for us, but a big hit on that Montreal quarterback.
Rudez, roughing. Montreal, 15-yard penalty.
So the penalty against Giroux, who tries to plead his case to Danny Machocha on the sideline. It happened well after the ball was thrown.
You can see after the play is over, Giroux and Mickleborough talking about the infraction. Giroux did not think what he did was roughing, but clearly Mickleborough felt different, and the flag flies.
So a 15-yard penalty will make it 3rd and 25. This looks like it was a, they called it roughing, but it looked like he was chirping at the referee. So a tough field position situation with that penalty as Alain Penverne stands back at his 6-yard line. Punt is taken on the far side by Philpott
5 yards.
for a 5-yard return. And so look at this, Calgary with great field position to start this drive. And this looks like it might be a 15-yard no-yard.
Unité, no yards. Ranger. Montreal, first down. Premier SA.
Wow. Because that ball was caught in the air and the no yards, the 5-yard restraining zone was not respected. It's a 15-yard penalty. So the ball is now on the 36-yard line of the Carabin. 1st and 10 for Adam Sinagra and the Calgary Dinos. They've had some great drives, but have been unable to finish off. Here's a flat pass. This could be a throw. It's Hunter Carl who has the ball for Calgary, but he had a look downfield. Hunter Carl has a great arm, and we have seen him throw the ball on these options before.
Hunter Carl on the swing pass, but it's really a lateral, maybe setting up a throw for later in the game. Took a peek there at Tyson Philpott down the field, who was in one-on-one coverage, but was covered down pretty well. So Carl makes the smart decision. A former high school quarterback, played basketball as well. Savvy veteran call there not to let it loose.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Jet sweep, and it's stopped in its tracks. Brian Haralamana, the will linebacker, lowering the boom.
Haralamana, who has eyes on him from many CFL scouts around the country, right there to make a big stick on Jalen Philpott. But credit Rossi there. You saw him flashing your screen, number 40, for forcing Philpott back up inside so Haralamana could clean him up.
It's that stout defense we've seen all year in Montreal. Nico DeFonte to attempt this field goal from the 38-yard line. The ball is up and good. So DeFonte with back-to-back field goals after an early miss stakes the Dinos to a 6-0 lead in a really tight football game in Quebec City. Welcome back to TELUS Stadium in Quebec City, where the Dinos have a 6-0 lead on the Carabin. This is a Dinos team that is making its 5th appearance in the Vanier Cup since 2009. They began in the 80s with three Vanier Cup wins in 5 years. But it's been a long time, 1995, since they last hoisted the Vanier Cup. A long time for a team that's been so dominant.
That's right, and it's been a tricky place to play, and Laval has for the Calgary Dinos 0-4 all-time at TELUS Stadium.
Dimitri Morin, third-year quarterback, only his 2nd season as a starter in Montreal. He'll hand off to Malky. Malky looking for a seam. He'll get outside on that surge play for a very short game. Malky, who has had a powerful playoff, carrying for 231 yards in 3 playoff games.
The Dinos really stacking the box, especially on first down, stringing out this run game. All kinds of red helmets swarming to the football.
Malky missed most of the regular season with a high ankle sprain, then was pressed into service when Giroux couldn't play last week in the UTEC Bowl. Giroux has been dinged up already here in the first half for Montreal. 2nd and 9. Ball was low, it's away and incomplete. Intended for Tristan Fisk-Casso, the 3rd-year man from Montreal. Dean Leonard in the vicinity. That was nearly botched on the snap.
Just a 3-man rush from Calgary. That's Jacob Biggs laying a lick on Fisk. His dad, of course, played for the Calgary Stampeders. Yes. Mark, all over that pass knockdown.
So many connections. The Philpott twins, the sons of Corey Philpott, the great quick 6 running back from BC in the 90s. Biggs of Stampeder, and Dean Leonard, the son of Ken Leonard, the great Stampeder defensive back. Penverne, a line drive, trying to keep it away from Jalen Philpott, and he does. Penverne's a big punter at 6'3", 244.
We just referred to it, Mark. The last time Calgary won a Vanier Cup, 1995. That's Don Blair, the Heck Crichton winner. That year led the way for the Calgary Dinos. What a while it has been, though, for the Calgary program. They have gotten back to the Vanier Cup many times, but it's been a long time since they actually hoisted the trophy.
Saw Greg Vavre there, and there's been 4 Heck Crichton quarterbacks from this organization. Eric Glavick, Andrew Buckley, and now Adam Sinagra. And Buckley and Glavick have stayed involved, working as quarterback assistants. On the ground, it's Molnar pounding the ball on first down for the Dinos. He'll have a gain of about 2 yards on the play. With this Calgary offense, we've talked about it being a more balanced offense this season, less pass happy, less big strike, and more running like that. Pat Sheehan, the new offensive coordinator, trying to get this team ready for a game just like this in the cold.
That's right, and Sinagra doesn't mind it, even though last year he threw for over 3,000 yards. Stats are down, but they're in the Vanier Cup, which is all that matters.
2nd and long, make it 2nd and 8 for the Dinos. 3-man rush from Montreal. Sinagra will run. No, he'll get rid of it. Was he across the line of scrimmage? He's okay. He finds Molnar in the flats, and he'll scramble upfield for a first down and a gain of 16 yards on the play.
Sinagra making it up on the fly. Looked like he was going to pull it down and try to run for the first down. The Carabin playing a cover 4, but at the last second, like he has eyes in the back of his head, turns and spots Molnar in the open field to move the chains. Oh yeah, he's on fire.
16 yard the gain. Against the blitz, they'll stay on the ground with Molnar again, and the 3rd-year running back from Calgary charges right through the heart of that Montreal defense for a gain of 5 yards on the play.
Sinagra clearly really getting a feel here in Quebec City, getting comfortable against this tough Carabin defense. You can see it on the previous snap where he hits Molnar, who was literally behind him on the play. A little flick throw for a first down.
Sam Rossi with his war paint on made the tackle. Here comes pressure from the Carabin on 2nd and 5. Ball's loose on the sack. Ball on the football field, and the Carabin trying to find it is still scrambled. Did Calgary get back on the ball? We'll have to wait and see. Relamana, who was around it, is pointing towards the end zone, saying it's Montreal ball. And it is a turnover. Reda Kramdi forcing the turnover. Sinagra losing the handle, and the Carabin will take over.
On the second and medium situations, the Carabin like to throw different pressure looks at you, and that's what happens there. Kramdi comes off the edge, knocks the ball away, and finally his defender is able to jump on it as he watches from afar. A key turnover cause from Kramdi off the edge. Sinagra a little loose with the football.
Looks like Germain finally got on that loose ball. The Carabin, can they take advantage? We'll find out when we come back. Adam Sinagra with the fumble and the first turnover of this football game. You can see his left hand is got a glove on it, and his baby finger and ring finger are taped. He broke those fingers in the Hardy Cup, and I'm not sure if that was a factor in that fumble, but we'll have a chance to take another look at it down the road. So the Carabin go on offense. They've had 3 straight 2-and-outs. Here's a bubble screen to the wide side. Carl Chabot makes the catch, and then he is felled. Sterling Taylor, the 4th, drops the diminutive receiver for the Carabin after a gain of 7 yards.
Morin gets the ball out quickly to Chabot. Some nice blocking in front of him, and then he hops and jumps around until Sterling Taylor arrives with authority.
Gain of 7 on the play. Chabot, this true freshman, you see him all over the field in this Montreal offense. 2nd and 3. Play action. Into the flats they go again to Chabot. He'll scramble upfield and have the Montreal first down. And a gain of 6 on the play. Dean Leonard, the boundary halfback, pushes this pint-sized phenom out of bounds.
The Dinos defense bit on the run fake from Morin. That allowed Chabot to sneak out. It looks like Dean Leonard, number 2 for the Dinos, was supposed to account for Chabot. Came downhill hard trying to track the run. That left the open space for Chabot to get the first down.
1st and 10, Carabin at the Calgary 42-yard line. Morin will hand off to Giroux. Giroux going outside. This is where he's most dangerous. He finds a seam, and he'll slide upfield for a gain of 5, maybe 6 on the play.
Giroux being strung out, but picks his way to the strong side of the field. Solid gain on first down. As you can see there, a missed tackle from Oyasoro, and then Giroux cuts it up against McDonald, making 2 of those linebackers, normally sure tacklers, miss in the hole. He can do it in a phone booth. Little wiggle.
And Salim Frazier got there to limit that damage to 5 yards. 2nd and 5 for the Carabin. An offense that has been impotent most of the season is moving the ball. Oh, and the flat pass is dropped. May have been tipped en route to Richard Giroux. And so what looked like a promising drive after the Calgary turnover will stall at the 42-yard line.
It might have been tipped. Morin maybe just gets it over the top of the oncoming Dinos
Still
defenders.
gotta have that. You gotta have that.
That's right. It's got to be a better throw from your quarterback. Giroux had a little bit of space there, but Calgary was closing in all areas, on the quarterback and downhill to Giroux.
This is a Calgary offense that only had 3 passing touchdowns in the entire regular season.
Crazy to think when Anthony Calvillo, the all-time leading passer in the CFL, is your offensive coordinator, that you only have 3 passing touchdowns.
So a punt situation for the Carabin. That's a good point. Anthony Calvillo, the 3-time Grey Cup champion, 3-time CFL MVP, the Hall of Famer, coming over the winter to this Carabin program to work with Machocha. They worked together in Montreal years ago, but it just hasn't worked out. It hasn't been an explosive offense, and been a lot of talk that Anthony Calvillo's offense, a pro offense at that, was too confusing. There was too much motion, and these quarterbacks and receivers had a hard time digesting it.
Seems like in the playoffs, though, it's come along a little more smoothly for Montreal. The scoring rates have gone up overall, but the Dinos holding them off the scoreboard here so far today.
So now the Carabin, there's AC on the sideline. You know, when he came to the program in January, Morin was saying all the quarterbacks had sweaty palms. They were so nervous, and none of them could throw a spiral in the first workout.
You can't blame him. You have Calvillo, a Hall of Famer with all the accolades you mentioned. Watching you, you're just be in awe as a young quarterback.
So now the Carabin have decided to attempt this field goal into the wind, a 20-kilometer-per-hour wind out of the north, with the ball at the 44-yard line. There's two onside players. It's a fake. It's a fake. Major Dagenet gets the ball away, and it's complete for a first down. Bruno Lagacé on the fake field goal. And they move the yardsticks.
We saw them run that in practice during the week, Mark. They got in on Wednesday night to Laval on Thursday, ran a number of trick plays, and the first one pulled out. Dagenet to Lagace for the first down as the chains move. Montreal doing whatever they can to try to put some points on the board.
I'm telling you, there are like 6 guys in this offense that can throw. That's the way they've managed to get through this season, with trick plays like that. First down, Carabin at the 26 of Calgary. It's a flip pass, a toss to Chabot, and Chabot is wrestled down by Ross DeLaw. And there's some pushing and shoving and some words after the whistle, and it'll be a gain of 6 on the play.
Anthony Calvillo dialing up the next play. And you know, Mark, you mentioned it, that the offense being a little difficult to understand for the players, but for Calvillo, he needed to get some time to get acclimated to the building blocks that he had around them and fit the offense to them as well. And that's an example that we've seen here today, with Chabot getting carries and touches in various ways, using the players to their best ability.
2nd and 4 in the red zone. The Carabin will stay on the ground. Giroux breaks the first tackle, breaks the second tackle, and dives for the 15-yard line. And that looks like he may have the first down on 2 big second efforts by this tailback.
Giroux with a tough run, a physical back. You can see just the way that he's built. Big leg muscles, keeps him turning, running through tackles. The Dinos are normally, as a group, very sure tacklers, but Giroux just bouncing off Dean Leonard, Sterling Taylor, turning out those yards, and the Carabin are going the direction of their huge fan section that's made the trip to Quebec City.
First down at the 15 of Calgary. Morin rolling. He'll pitch it to Beaulieu, and Beaulieu, the big rookie from Haiti, will be close to the first down. Jamin Pelly, the nose tackle, making the tackle for Calgary. But Bertrand Beaulieu, big man at 6'2", 250. Carrying the rock right through the middle of that Calgary defense.
That is a load coming downhill, and Morin sets up the shovel pass to perfection and allows his big fullback Beaulieu just to square his shoulder pads and run straight downhill, punishing runner.
It's an injured Dino on the play. It's Abrahams Webster, the field cornerback, who made contact on that 250-pound tailback, and he is on one knee, as the Carabin now threatening to score the first touchdown of this Vanier Cup.
They only scored 7 touchdowns all year, Mark, 10 in the playoffs. So you can tell they've picked up the offensive production to get themselves to the Vanier Cup. We mentioned Calvillo. It took a little time for all of the pieces to fit together, play caller and players, and it's paid off in the playoffs for Montreal.
Don't forget, Frederic Paquette-Perreault came in the playoffs and was instrumental as the #2 quarterback under Anthony Calvillo's offense to get that team going in the playoffs. Let's go to the sidelines, and here's Andy.
Well, Mark, you're right. For Anthony Calvillo, it was a bit of a learning curve for himself as well when he took over coaching here with Montreal, and it's something Danny Machocha could relate to as well. I mean, Danny Machocha, coming from the CFL ranks, when he joined the university ranks, he couldn't quite get through to his quarterbacks until one day his wife said to him, "You have to remember, you're not coaching Ricky Ray anymore. You have to see the world through their eyes. They're not at that professional level yet." And he said that was something that even Anthony Calvillo, as we know, a Grey Cup champ in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, he too had to learn that curve and learn how to see the game through their eyes at the university level, not quite the pro level just yet. Gentlemen.
And as Justin was saying, I mean, they scored 7 touchdowns in the regular season, 10 in 3 playoff games. So they flipped the switch. The light bulb went on in the playoffs. And here we go. This drone shot showing a second and less than a yard situation. They go to the Wildcat offense with Giroux at quarterback. He'll try to get outside, and he will get the first down, breaking that tackle. Was it Oyasoro out there that had him wrapped up, and he got free to get the first down, but now he's down again. Giroux, who's been nicked a couple of times in this first half.
Giroux in that Wildcat situation, second and short, just does enough to get away from the tackle of Oyasoro, who looked like he was going to have the Montreal running back stacked up short of the first down. Grant McDonald piles on top, and that seemed to cause the injury.
All right, they'll attend to Giroux. The Carabin threatening when we come back. Santa's already in the house, so is the Grinch.
Who's the Grinch going to take a national title away from?
So the Carabin now with a first and goal situation from the 3 as Jean Giroux finally gets up off the turf. He's been down twice in this football game, coming back after missing the UTEC Bowl with a shoulder injury. There you see him telling his offense, let's go. So this touchdown-starved Montreal offense in position here to get into the end zone for the first time in the football game in a low-scoring 6-0 Dino lead.
Giroux actually telling us, Mark, that he likes to be physical. Maybe almost would rather play defensive back. Played all kinds of positions in high school, running back, quarterback, defensive back. So a physical runner, you can bet he's going to be back out on that field.
They need him because he's so multi-dimensional in the Wildcat, as a receiver and as a running back. Here's that short yardage play in the Wildcat that he beats Oyasoro, and then finally Grant McDonald takes him down hard to the turf. First and goal from the 3. Carabin. Morin will hand off. Malky turns, dives to the goal line, waiting for the signal. The Carabin celebrating, but they'll mark him short. Reda Malky, that low-hitting, powerful running back, has been a huge factor in the offensive production in the playoffs for this team.
That's right, especially in the UTEC Bowl win last week over Acadia, the more physical runner in that Montreal backfield, spinning his way. Great call by the officials there. He was indeed down just short of the end zone.
Tyrese Best comes into the lineup for Calgary, and Biggs comes out as Wayne Harris tries to bolster that line. Second and goal from the 1. The Carabin in the heavy set. It's a handoff to Malky. He's stiffened by McDonald at the goal line. Driving. Still no signal. Touchdown. A late call as Malky bulldozes into the end zone for the first touchdown of this Vanier Cup.
Malky met in the hole, but does enough to barely break the end zone. Grant McDonald trying to turn him back, and that is ultra close. At the end of the play, Malky's back is actually on the knee of McDonald, so technically he's not down. That has to be the way the officials ruled it a touchdown, because it's oh so close for that football breaking the plane. 2 men toughing it out there on the goal line.
Point after is good. The kicker, Simoneau, is drilled to the turf. And there's some words after that play as they mix it up. No love lost in this football game as the Carabin take the lead, but that kicker can handle himself. 6'3", 245 pounds, and there's Malky getting the sombrero. The first touchdown. That's a tradition on this Carabin offense.
It doesn't happen often, so you got to give out a big hat when it does. Montreal gets into the end zone as the extra point is good. Simoneau takes a shot from Jamin Pelly after the fact and then exchanges some words. It's heating up in Quebec City.
The Carabin, 11 plays, 58-yard drive. After the fumble recovery, then the fake field goal. They took 5.5 minutes off the clock, and they hit the end zone. The first team to do that this afternoon.
That fake field goal was so key, really getting things going. Initially, Simoneau lined up for what looked like was going to be a three-point attempt, turned, seemed like it was going to be a pooch kick with a couple of onside players behind him, and all of a sudden they came out the back door to pick up the first down. That key play led to Montreal getting into the end zone.
Simoneau's story is one that everyone here reveres in Montreal. Was diagnosed with B-cell non-Hodgkin lymphoma in February, underwent 6 chemotherapy treatments right through to July, and a little more than a month after his last visit to the hospital, he was at training camp with the Caravan. Ball has been blown off the tee. So Simoneau will set that back up as Jalen Philpott and his identical twin Tyson Philpott are back to return this kickoff. So who would have thought that this would be such a low-scoring game with this powerhouse Dino offense here under good conditions. There's the kickoff. It's Tyson Philpott at his 21-yard line, looking for a seam to the wide side. Gets through 1, 2, 3 tacklers, and finally brought down at the 40-yard line. So the Philpott's ever dangerous. First down, Calgary. Jalen Philpott takes the ball from Sinagra, breaks 2 tackles, trying to get down the sideline, cuts inside, and is hauled down. Another ankle-breaking yak yardage for this tremendous second-year receiver for the Dinos. A 40-yard pickup.
A perfect example of why Sinagra loves these receivers so much. The Philpott twins, that is Jalen in the open field, catches it for just a couple-yard gain, turns it up, and immediately gets to full speed. So smooth, it looks like he's gliding out there, but trust me, he is moving fast.
Conzo and Herelamana making the tackle on that 40-yard pickup. Here's Sinagra throwing again. It's complete to Durkin, Nathaniel Durkin, for a short gain as he lost his balance. And of course, in university football, you don't have to be touched to be down. It's a gain of 6.
And Durkin, a younger player for the Dinos, but a physical presence. They feel like big body in the slot. Sinagra trusts him implicitly when he's going to target him with the football.
3 catches for 110 yards already for Jalen Philpott in this football game. 2nd and 3. 3-man rush. Ball is away and complete to Dallas Both. That's the one that Sinagra had earlier in this football game. And wow, Both is hammered on the play by Pierre-Gabriel Germain.
Both coming across the field in the crossing route. The same play that Sinagra missed the last time down that could have been a touchdown for the Dinos makes good there, but Both pays the price for the reception. Germain blows him up from the backside at the end of the play.
Both the 5th-year ARC student with a first down. They're in the red zone. The Dinos now trying to answer back. Ball is away, and Sinagra is hit from behind as Reda Kramdi came from the Sam linebacker position on the blind side to hit the Calgary quarterback.
Kramdi, the man who caused that fumble, which ultimately led to the Montreal touchdown, coming once again free off the edge. You can see there like a heat-seeking missile on the quarterback. Just gets there in time on Sinagra to force the incompletion.
Sinagra was forced out of the Hardy Cup in the second half with a suspected rib injury. Did not finish the game, but he has been back ever since. 2nd down. Throwing to the end zone, deep corner, Jalen Philpott, he's got it! Oh my goodness, beating double coverage again, touchdown, Calgary Dinos!
When Sinagra needs a play, it's often number 5, Jalen Philpott, that comes up with it, beats double coverage. There's supposed to be an underneath defender and one over the top, but he runs by both of them, makes an acrobatic grab. Philpott comes down with the Dinos' first touchdown of the game.
And there's the loss of Marc-Antoine Duquois showing in that defense for Montreal, because you know they were going to lock him up all afternoon on Jalen Philpott. Nico DeFonte, the point after, is up and good. And the Dinos reestablish their 6-point lead with Less than a minute to go until halftime.
Philpott, of course, the son of Corey Philpott, had a then CFL record 22 touchdowns in 1995. So he grew up around that BC Lions locker room, and the great G. Roy Simon, who he still keeps in touch with for advice. I asked G. Roy Simon what advice he had for Philpott in the game today. He said he didn't have to tell him anything. Those kids were born for big games, and clearly Philpott living up to the advanced billing from G. Roy Simon, the CFL's all-time receiving leader.
They called their dad Quick Six. He wore number 6 for the BC Lions. He was so lethal. 1,400 yards rushing one year, 1,300 the next. As you mentioned, 22 touchdowns, a season record in the CFL at the time, but more than 10,000 yards, all-purpose yards. And you got to wonder how they decided which of the Philpott twins got to wear their dad's number 6. Tyson. Maybe he was born first.
That might have been.
DeFonte has it teed up. And here comes Chabot, the 5'7" dynamo, and man, he runs head first into that traffic. And he is felled by Daniel Tights on the return of about 21.
That's the brother of Micah Tights, a former Dinos linebacker who's currently playing with the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the CFL. So football in the Tights bloodline, coming downhill, making an impression on special teams. Hard to get. Chabot squares up, but number 57 Tights for the Dinos does it just very well right there.
That last Calgary drive, 6 plays covering 70 yards in a minute 23 seconds. 48 seconds on the clock as Dimitri Morin sets up on first down. Ball at his 25. He'll hand off. Reda Malky getting around the corner. He is tough to bring down. Running back who had a high ankle sprain and missed most of this season and has come back with a vengeance in the playoffs. Missed a lot of last year with an ankle injury too.
That's right. He suffered high ankle sprains to both ankles. The one that was bothering this year was the left side, but kind of like the Dinos, Malky's gotten healthy at the right time, had a massive game in the UTEC Bowl win over Acadia.
You know, he only played 2 games in the regular season, had 13 yards rushing. But in the playoffs, in 3 games, 231 yards on the ground, coming here to this Vanier Cup. Second and short, 3 yards to go. They'll give it to Malky again. Oh, the pop, you can hear it all the way up here. And it looks like Calgary and Dela will hold them short of the first down. We'll have to see where they spot it. But Malky running with that low profile and power, drops his shoulders, and Dela making contact there with some support from Grant McDonald.
Grant McDonald there first on the play. Dela in the game, of course, for Charlie Moore, who won't come back, one of the leaders of that Dinos defense, but the senior linebacker stepping up and filling the hole with his fellow linebacking mate McDonald to keep Montreal just short inches mark from a first down.
Dela still moving those shoulders, feeling the effects of that contact. It will be inches short, so third down. And the Carabin have their punt unit on the field. The Dinos sending Jalen Philpott back to return.
You got to be aware, though, we've seen it once already today, Mark. A fake field goal led to the Montreal initial touchdown of the game. And in a situation here where it's third and just inches, you wonder if Danny Machoch is willing to roll the dice. Byron Archambault, the special teams coordinator, knows what it takes in big games. Won the Vanier Cup in 2014. He's got the call on here by the Carabin.
20.4 seconds to go in the half. And that Penvern with that 41-yard average, standing back at his 20-yard line, has the longest this year of 51 yards. The Carabin making sure they're prepared for Jalen Philpott, who stands at his 35. And Verne with a high spiral to the wide side of the field, and a perfectly placed punt that goes out of touch at about the 35-yard line. A perfect punt. And so no return from Jalen Philpott as the Calgary offense gets on the field.
Canada ate up a bunch of that clock there as Van Veren with a pinpoint punt to keep it away from Philpott, who was on the near side of the field, didn't have a chance to get all the way over there and haul it in.
Adam Sinagra from Châteauguay, Quebec, played his CEGEP in Pointe Claire, a Quebec kid who was not recruited by the big French schools. And, you know, he's come here back to his home province on a mission. They'll hand it off to Rodriguez, and he'll carry it up the middle for close to 10 yards. He'll be just shy of the first down with 7 seconds to go. But, you know, Sinagra wants to come home here and win his first ever Vanier Cup. He played in that 2016 loss to Laval. And he has come back in his 5th and final year, in his final football game in his home province of Quebec. 2nd and inches. They'll stay on the ground, and Rodriguez will be brought down at center field as Pierre Gabriel Germain makes the tackle on the final play of the opening half. Both teams nursing injuries on defense in a really tough, low-scoring football game. But it is Calgary up by 6 as that offense finally got moving in the late stages of that second quarter, and Montreal up to their tricks to finally find the end zone in that second quarter as well.
That's right, and it's a surprise to see that Montreal was the first offense to get a touchdown in the game, but Calgary responded very quickly on the next drive.
13-7 Calgary at the half as we go to the sidelines, and here's Andy.
Thank you, Wayne. The Philpott twins, I mean, they've been breaking ankles out there. We've been saying it on the broadcast. What makes them so effective?
Well, their work ethic, their athleticism, their attitude, their approach to the game. They work hard every day and bring a lot of things to our team. So,
both teams taking some injuries to the defense. What's the message to the team heading into this half and preparing for the second? What adjustments?
Well, it's just about playing good, sound football. We got to get the ball more into our offensive hands and not allow them to drive like they did in that second quarter.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Mark?
Andy, it's a tough, hard-nosed half of football, just like we expected, as the visiting Dinos on a mission to finally win a Vanier Cup in this decade that has eluded them, go to the half with a 6-point lead over the Carabin.
There are still plenty of Quebec Nordique fans in La Vieille Capitale. Welcome back. Calgary leads 13-7 after 2 quarters at TELUS Stadium and the 55th Vanier Cup. Scott Russell along with Mike Morale and Jesse Lumsden. Quite a football game. The offenses didn't get rolling until late in the second quarter. Here's the thing. Both quarterbacks, Dimitri Morin and Adam Sinagra, Jesse, have been under pressure throughout.
And it's been really interesting to see how they've been pressured. Calgary has done a really good job with that big 3-4 defense, and it's really been the 3 big boys up front, led by Jay Mintelli, number 90, 6'6", 320 pounds. Look at the push that he gets on the center. He gets the hands on Morin and gets him down to the ground. On the opposite side of the ball, it's been blitzes. It's been the secondary. They've been able to scheme and get their way into the backfield to put the pressure on Sinagra. Ethan McConzo has had a sack, and then you get Reda Cramdy from the Sam linebacker position, forcing a fumble and then getting another sack later in the half.
All right, so we've had the pressure, but given time, Mike, both quarterbacks, Sinagra and Morin, have been able to find their favorite receivers. Let's first talk about the diminutive Carl Chabot for Montreal.
Exactly, listed at 5'7". I think that's a bit generous for sure. He's got 4 catches so far today. He's small but plays a lot bigger. He's been the guy that Morin has gone to whenever he's had a little bit of time to breathe. And when he gets the ball, he's a little bit of a jitterbug behind the guys in front of him, getting lost behind that. But he is 66 yards on the day. He's got those 3 targets. He's doing well, but you flip over to Sinagra. His favorite go-to guy is number 5, Jalen Philpott. I mean, jump ball there. He's just an incredible athletic ability. He's been the go-to receiver all year. He's the all-Canadian. He gets a big corner out here. Again, dropped in like a dime. Credit to Sinagra on that throw. And then, of course, it's followed up by a corner route to the left side and a beautifully thrown ball again. And just a nice body control getting back and underneath that. That you cannot teach. That is so important. And when given time, Sinagra has found Philpott.
So there's a late touchdown for the Calgary Dinos as they take the lead over the Carabin of Montreal. And Jesse, injuries are going to play a factor in this game. Charlie Moore, the linebacker, goes down for Calgary early in the game. And then Marc-Antoine Dequoy, their ball hawk, goes down for Montreal.
Well, very, very early in the game. This was a scary moment for Charlie Moore. After this seemingly simple tackle, connecting with his teammates, and stayed down for a while. Kept us all on pins and needles, but we did see him walk off under his own steam. And then on the other side of the ball, somebody I was very much looking forward to seeing how he played, Marc-Antoine Dequoy, the big halfback, the leading tackler of the Carabin. Again, a nice open field tackle. He takes a quick look at his arm, and then you'll see him a little bit walking off with assistance. He hasn't been back in the field. And then again, with the Montreal Carabin, Jean Giroux, who's been a heck of a player for the Carabin. He's been under center, he's been playing from the running back position, but he's had to take a knee twice. It looked like he got the wind knocked out of him here. Had some issues with his stinger a couple weeks ago, but he's going to be a guy to watch as well.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Jean Giroux. He missed the UTEC Bowl against Acadia last week. They want to keep him in the lineup. Let's take a look at the quarterback comparisons. Dimitri Moran, 8 of 12 for 93 yards in the air. All over him right now with the arm. Adam Sinagra, Calgary quarterback, 16 for 19, 220 yards. So late in the half, he got the offense rolling for the Calgary Dinos, and they have the lead 13-7 over the Carabin. We'll return to the Vanier Cup on CBC in just a moment. Stay with us. A number of U Sports champions have already been crowned across the country this fall, and there are plenty of connections between this list and the two schools in today's game. For instance, the Dinos men's cross-country team won Calgary's first national title of the year just 2 weeks ago. Western Mustangs quarterback Chris Merchant was awarded the Heck Crichton Trophy as the most outstanding player in U Sports football this season at the 2017 Vanier Cup Gala on Thursday. Fifth-year senior and 2017 Vanier Cup champion led the Mustangs to their third consecutive undefeated regular season. By the way, he plays once again for the Western Mustangs. Coached by Greg Marshall, who won the Tyndall Trophy as Coach of the Year. It is 13-7 for the Dinos over the Carabin at Laval in the 55th edition of the Vanier Cup. Back with Mike Morreale and with Jesse Lumsden. And so we look towards the second half and offenses that continue to get moving late in that first half. Jesse, what are you looking for?
Well, you just said it. Momentum is being gained right now by both offenses, and I think they're going to be able to pull out some more stops. Montreal had some nice trickery, special plays, pushed them into the end zone for their first score of the game, and it seems that Sinagra and Philpott are picking up steam.
Yeah, Mike, I wanted to ask you about that because with the arrival of Pat Sheehan on that coaching staff, that Calgary offense is much more balanced. Philpott, yes, but they're going to run the ball with Rodriguez as well.
Oh, absolutely. That balance is key to how Pat Sheehan has chosen to approach this year, and it's really paying off for him. But don't sleep on the pass game. We've seen what he's able to do through the air, especially to Jalen Philpott. They're dynamic, and I think there's more to come.
Let's talk about connections in the Vanier Cup. I want to take you back to the 1975 Cup. It was called the College Bowl then. It was played at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. How about Neil Lumsden and the Ottawa GGs? They defeat Calgary in the College Bowl by a score of 14-9, and Neil Lumsden is the MVP. Oh yeah, happens to be the dad of Jesse Lumsden. And they look a lot alike, don't they, Jesse?
Oh, I see that kicking style too. Beautiful step in, toe on, and the old toe bash. But it's got the moves on the outside run. It's nice.
You know, it was one of the great things. Neil Lumsden winning the MVP of that College Bowl. As the Vanier Cup was known back then, the Ottawa GGs over the Calgary Dinos. Dinos have won the Vanier Cup 6 times in the course of their history. Right now, they have the lead, 13-7 over the Carabin of Montreal. We'll return to the Vanier Cup on CBC in just a moment.
The goat provided fertilizer. The fertilizer provided the crops. The crops provided sustainable income. The income provided education. The education provided a lifetime of opportunity. It starts with your click.
February and March of 2020 will see many more championships handed out across the country as top student athletes battle for national supremacy in a variety of sports. The best part about attending or watching these events, though, the opportunity to potentially see some of Canada's future Olympic stars hone their craft on home soil. U Sports Winter Championships will continue with the Vanier Cup from Quebec City on CBC Sports in just a moment. Welcome back. The Vanier Cup, 13-7 Calgary Dinos over the Carabin of Montreal. Heading to the second half. Back to the booth now, Mark Lee and Justin Dunk.
Adam Sinagra back on the football field warming up for the second half of this 55th Vanier Cup. His team up on the Carabin of Montreal 13-7. Sinagra with some outstanding statistics in that first half. Justin Dunk good on 15 of 18 attempts for 211 yards and a touchdown. The one blemish was the fumble.
That's back to what he was doing in 2018, throwing for over 400 yards a game. Danny Machocha and the Carabin's defense going to try to find some way to slow down Sinagra, who's gotten into a rhythm.
Dimitri Morin good on 8 of 12 for 94 yards. He was sacked twice. Malky, a powerhouse, pushing that ball into the end zone, and a rare touchdown scored by this Montreal offense this season.
But was it a touchdown, Mark? And
well,
we're going to have to keep an eye on that as the game goes along. It was so close. There was no definitive look down the goal line. It looked like Malky's knee might have been down before the ball crossed the plane. Whether those points factor in or not, we're about to find out.
And his back was to the goal line, and Grant McDonald looked like he had him stopped. So there's McDonald warming up as this Calgary Dinos defense has been super stout again here today. The Calgary touchdown scored, Justin, they were the first points Montreal allowed on defense since the fourth quarter of the Dunsmore Cup. That's 72 minutes and 25 seconds of football. We're going back a couple of weeks.
That's right, going back in time. But the Calgary Dinos offense, you had an idea coming in. We're going to try to spread it out and throw the football because that defensive front, Calgary felt like, was the best that they had faced the entire season, which says a lot because the Saskatchewan Huskies, who they beat in the Hardy Cup, are stout in their front seven as well.
All good, right? Let's go have some fun now, okay?
Jalen Philpott has been the star of this football game with 4 catches for 116 yards and that touchdown reception, his longest 38. The Dinos will kick off to start this second half. Retta Malky and Carl Shabbat are back to return for Montreal. And Nico DeFonte will tee it up for Calgary.
Key decision there, Mark. Calgary decided to defer when they won the opening coin toss, and they elect to take the wind in the fourth and final quarter, the longer quarter. Smart decision from Wayne Harris and the Calgary Dinos.
DeFonte to kick off the second half in Quebec City. A deep kickoff back to the 6-yard line. It's Shabbat, the 5'7" returner upfield, and he's hauled down from behind as we go to the sidelines. And here's Andy. Jacob Kirk making the tackle on Shabbat, who has given this Calgary Dinos defense fits here this afternoon. And so Montreal will scrimmage 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line. Charlie Moore, big linebacker, injured. One of the first plays of the game, has not returned for defense and this Dinos team. Dimitri Morin Play action, throwing a look-in pass. Kevin Kaya finally gets his hands on the football for the first time in this football game. Montreal's leading receiver this year with nearly 600 yards through the air.
A rare target in the Vanier Cup. We saw Morin go downtown to try to hook up with him on a deep throw in the first half. Couldn't get it, but there they finally get the football in Kaya's hands. They feel like he's an explosive athlete that can change the game at a moment's notice.
From Nancy, France, Kevin Kaya missed all of last year with an injury and has become the big target. Finally gets his hands for the Carabin offense on that football. Pressure now on Morin. He steps up, throws a crossing route. It's complete to Carl Chabot, and Chabot will have a Montreal first down. He's brought down by Matthew Lesishin, the safety for the Dinos.
There's the Julian Edelman of the Carabin offense working in the slot against safety Matt Lesishin. Comes across the field, gets himself open. Morin on the money. He's thrown the ball fairly well today here in the Vanier Cup.
14-yard gain through the air from Morin to Chabot at the Carabin's 49-yard line as they open this second half, marching the football. And play is whistled down with flags on the turf, and it looks like a time count violation against the Montreal quarterback. Let's take a look at the halftime stats presented by Pro Mutual Insurance.
The one turnover there for the Calgary Dinos, but overall they have controlled the pace of play, especially on offense, throwing the ball around the park. Over 200 yards on the day so far for Sinagra.
Halftime stats powered by Wilson. In a low-scoring Vanier Cup, 13-7. We expected that with the way this Carabin defense have played all season long, allowing an average of 5 points against in 3 playoff games before coming here to the Vanier Cup. There's a bubble screen. It's complete to Major Dagenet, and he is taken down after a gain of about 6 yards.
Yeah, Grant McDonald, check out the pursuit here from a strong side linebacker position. Chases down the play from behind. Number 9 for Calgary has been all over the field. The range is spectacular. CFL teams are going to keep an eye on him as he's coming up through the ranks.
Nick Stats got his nose dirty on that play as well. A gain of only 1, make it 2nd and 9. For Montreal, 3-man rush from Calgary. It's a shovel pass up the middle, and Giroux finds a seam, and that's when he's dangerous. Jean Giroux downfield inside the red zone, and finally wrestled to the turf across the 15. Oh, he got on his high horse, and then he was gone.
Giroux slashing in the open field, so dynamic with wide open spaces. They run the little shovel play. Again, they used it earlier to the big fullback. This time it's to their slashing running back, Giroux, into the open field, breaking tackles along the way. Montreal Carabin lighten it up on offense to start the third quarter.
Are they ever? Giroux, who's been banged up and taken out of this game twice in the first half, with a 45-yard pass and run play into the red zone of the Dinos. The ball spotted at the Calgary 15-yard line. We talked about him being so versatile. He is the most multi-dimensional player on the offense for the Carabin.
Max Batar on a knee for the University of Calgary Dinos getting looked at. Let's take a look at the reverse angle. Boys in the truck doing a spectacular job getting us this replay. Giroux, wide open spaces, you can see at top speed. So dangerous when he's in the open field, making all kinds of defenders miss. A key element to the offense that was missing, but he's come back even though he's been in and out of the game a little bit here in the Vanier Cup.
Max Batar limps off the field, breaking 4 tackles. Giroux did on that play before Nick Stats finally wrestled him to the turf. Montreal threatening on the opening drive of this second half. Morin looking to the hitch, the receiver slip. Now he throws it across the middle and incomplete, but Morin looking to the boundary on that play, and his receiver went down as Tassi got pressure on the Montreal quarterback.
One of those big Dinos defensive linemen wreaking havoc. Morin fakes the reverse to Chabot. Doesn't have Kaya because he slipped on the turf on the weak side of the field trying to set up the receiver screen, and smart decision there. Doesn't force the football, lives to fight another down, doesn't turn it over.
They got to get the ball in Kayan's hands. Kaya's a big target at 6'4". He's a playmaker, flank wide to the field right now. on 2nd and 10 in the red zone. Morin under pressure, and he's down. Looked like he tried to get rid of the football, but the Dinos, with a big sack and frustration written all over the Montreal quarterback, Jacob Biggs, putting pressure here.
Morin clearly unhappy as Biggs gets home free off the edge. Morin trying to step up in the pocket, slips on the turf. Again, sometimes the surface here at Laval can be slippery, and it costs the Carabin a chance at a touchdown there on 2nd and long.
So a great opening drive for Montreal as they set up for this field goal attempt from the 27-yard line on the left hash. Major Desjardins to hold for Louis-Philippe Simoneau. The ball is up and good. So the Carabin add 3 points to the scoreboard on the opening drive of the second half. It's 13-10 Calgary in the 55th Vanier Cup.
I had a chance to speak with Danny Machocha, Montreal head coach, just as they were stepping out for the second half. Asked him about Marc-Antoine Dequoy, and he says that there's a very good chance he will not be back in this game. He's still on the sideline. The stalwart on defense is out of the game right now for Montreal. Gentlemen.
Big loss, Andy, as the Carabin had hoped to get Dequoy on Jalen Philpott.
Of course, Dequoy made that crucial game-sealing interception touchdown in the Dunsmore Cup. Once he hang on to the football, took it to the house, intercepts Thomas Balduc, the Laval quarterback, and that capped the win for the Montreal Carabin in the Dunsmore Cup. His length can disrupt offenses.
Sinagra's pass intended for Tyson Philpott is short and incomplete. And it was Claude Adler-Joseph who replaced Dequoy and was beaten by Jalen Philpott for that touchdown in the first half.
That's right. When Dequoy went out of the game, the Dinos immediately started to attack that strong side, field side halfback position for the Montreal Carabin with Joseph in there. I would imagine the Dinos are going to continue to try to exploit that area.
Sinagra rolling to his right, throwing to the wide side, and it's complete with two Calgary receivers in the same vicinity. It's Hunter Carl, one of his favorite receivers, with the catch for an 18-yard pickup and a Calgary first down.
Hunter Carl looking at his roommate there, Dallas Both, and saying, what are you doing in my area of the field here? That's my football. But even though you're not supposed to have two receivers that close to each other on the field, it works out there for the Calgary Dinos.
Sinagra completing 83% of his passes in the first half. Here comes the blitz. They'll stay on the ground, running right into that traffic, and Rodriguez is felled for a loss of 2 on the play.
Pelche on the tackle, and it's been tough going for the Dinos to establish any ground game. We came in talking about Robinson Rodriguez and the dynamic playoff run that he's had for the Dinos, but Montreal is so stout up front that the Dinos have relied on their passing attack, and why not with Sinagra slinging the rock.
Pelche with a 450-pound bench press. He can deliver a wallop and a big tackle there. Make it 2nd and 13 Calgary. Here comes the blitz. Sinagra throwing deep downfield. Incomplete. Intended for Tyson Philpott, and double coverage as they continue to give the Philpott twins all kinds of attention in the passing game.
That's right. Sinagra taking a shot there on 2nd and long. The Carabin playing a deep, way off defense. Looked like cover 4 there for Montreal, and Sinagra just throwing it up to Tyson Philpott, hoping he can go up and make a play, but it ends up falling incomplete as the Dinos offense ends up off the field.
So DeFonte will have to punt. Chabot back to return. DeFonte gets it away, a line drive. Chabot from his 32 at full speed ahead, cuts inside, and is drilled as he approaches the 50-yard line. So a short punt on the play, and a great return. That punt only 30 yards from DeFonte. And so the Carabin, after that great first drive for the second half, are on offense again. They love their football in Quebec, and The Montreal fans have made their way to Quebec City for this 55th Vanier Cup, and man, there is animosity between Montreal and Quebec when it comes to sports, but especially when it comes to U Sports football. They don't like each other, and even the Canadians, the Montreal Canadiens, sent a special text today in support of the Carabin. First down. Dinos, after the Carabin commit their first turnover on downs. Pass out of the backfield, bobbled and complete. Nathaniel Durkin makes the catch for a short gain on the play.
Mark, you mentioned the rivalry, so much so that Laval fans here today are cheering for Calgary.
Yeah.
Quebec City and Montreal, to put it in plain terms, flat out just don't like each other.
Danny Machocha said at the press conference, I hope fans will cheer for the Quebec team, but he knew darn well that they wouldn't be. Second and about 4.5 for the Dinos. Handoff is stopped dead in its tracks. Wow, Pierre Gabriel Germain stops Rodriguez for a loss on the play. And so DeFonte comes out on the field. It looks like it'll be a punt situation into this wind.
Calgary has had all kinds of trouble trying to get anything going on the ground. Defenders reestablishing the line of scrimmage. Germain in there on Rodriguez to make yet another play in the Dinos' backfield.
Dinos haven't used Rodriguez much as we've seen him in other playoff games this fall. DeFonte from his 51. Carl Chabot, the dangerous returner, inside his 15 for Montreal. Here comes the block, and it's away. DeFonte shanks it off his foot. It goes out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. So a 13-yard punt from DeFonte, and again that allows the Carabin to be in decent field position.
Surprisingly, DeFonte with a couple of punts that don't live up to the strength of his leg. It looked like that one just was flat shanked off the right side of his foot. Did not catch it the way he wanted. You can see the Carabin lined up to come after it and try to get a hand on it, but that pressure forced the shank.
Dimitri Morin at the controls. He'll hand it off. Good fake play in the backfield there. Good play action at first, and then the quarterback making the read to let Malky take the rock for 7 yards.
Malky on the zone read play, a little counter action as well, gets a kick out block, puts his shoulders down and follows his big offensive lineman there leading the way. Number 66 Lestange hitting it up in there with his physical running back Malky.
Second and a little more than 2 for Montreal. They'll stay on the ground. Malky lowers his shoulder in a big scrum near that first down marker at the 43. This is going to be close.
It is physical down there in the trenches. Malky looked like on first contact from Grant McDonald, of course, was going to be stacked up, but he keeps his legs going. Actually stayed on his feet, could have kept rolling. Maybe the ball even came loose, but they made sure the Carabin stayed on it. It's actually going to be 3rd and inches for Montreal, who stay on the field yet again to gamble.
They blew the last 3rd down gamble with the Wildcat. They keep their quarterback in, and this time they'll sneak it, the smart thing to do, and they'll have the first down. I still don't understand why Giroux ran back 4 yards and tried to go wide on that last 3rd down gamble. That did not work.
Well, they prove you right there, Mark. They surge forward with Morin, the big offensive line, getting the first down and moving the chains. Critical pickup for the Carabin.
Dimitri Morin, who lost his starting job after leading this team to 6 straight wins to start the season. Week 7 against Sherbrooke threw 2 interceptions. He was yanked and didn't get back in until the 2nd quarter of last week's UTEC Bowl. And then he led his team to 34 unanswered points in the 3rd quarter. There's Wildcat formation again, and Giroux is stuffed for a gain of maybe 1. Rich Jean Giroux in the Wildcat pays a price against that Dinos defense as Max Batar gets in on the tackle.
Giroux in the Wildcat. There was all kinds of confusion before the snap even happened for the receivers in motion. They faked the reverse to Chabot, but that play was doomed from the start.
2nd and 9. Confusion on the Calgary defense as Best thought he was leaving the field, and now he's back in. They're trying to get organized. And Morin looking to the bench for the signal. Now he's calling the play at the line of scrimmage. 7 seconds left on the play clock. He's got to get it away. Down to 4, 3, 2, 1, and he just gets the ball off in time. A flat pass is complete to Giroux. He breaks the first tackle, heads upfield, and has a Montreal first down.
Giroux, we see it again in the open field. So dangerous and dynamic, can make you miss in the phone booth. Does it once again here. Jacob makes one-on-one situation. Now you see me, now you don't. Giroux picks up a first down on 2nd and long, just like when it looked like the Montreal offense was going to have to come off the field after he secures the football. What a play from number 29.
That's the book on Giroux. When he gets in the open field, he dances and he's dangerous. He may have been nicked again. He's been down 3 times in this football game. First down, Montreal. They'll drive it on the ground. Alexis Boulanger. Or was it Malky?
It was Malky, partner, sticking it up in there. Ross Dela, the senior linebacker, in there again. And dare I say, they haven't lost a beat on defense with more out of the game. Dela not as rangy, but still a physical presence in that linebacking core for Calgary.
And there's another Dino down on the field. Looks like Max Batar, who leveled that hellacious hit 2 plays ago. Now he's on one knee. Man, this has been a physical football game. Let's take a look and see how he got injured.
You can see Malky sticking it up in there, and Batar just underneath the pile. The massive humanity, as you like to say, Mark, underneath there, just getting the best of Batar. He's a tough one. I bet you he'll come back into this ball game. And also, who trotted back on the field was Giroux, number 29 for the Montreal Caravan, the dynamic playmaker, back on the field for Montreal.
And he's taken his shots, as Gerard has, and Giroux is back in the game, as you mentioned, Justin. And Batar, who's been dishing it out, now he's in some difficulty as he limps off the field. Wow, there's some big-time athletes in this football game. D lineman at 6'6", 350 pounds. There's CFL-size lines along the line of scrimmage here this afternoon. 2nd and 8. Another 2nd and long. Calgary showing pressure. They get some movement on the defensive line. Now Morin checking out of that play. Dimitri Morin against the Calgary blitz. Downfield for Kaya. He's open. No, it's broken up. Sterling Taylor, the 4th at the last minute, breaks up that scoring touch.
Sterling Taylor, the senior cover man, in a one-on-one situation there with Kaya. Gives up a little bit of size, but undercuts the throw and knocks it out of his hands as the 2 young men battle for the football. It hits the turf. And fortunately for the Dinos, a big play aborted there by Taylor going all out to make a play.
Sterling Taylor, the 4th, the 5th-year man out of Atlanta. Verne with a high spiraling punt to Jalen Philpott at his 15-yard line. Philpott, misses a big hit there and is finally wrestled to the turf. Both teams throwing haymaking rights on this football field today. The final play of the 3rd quarter. We'll take a break here in Quebec City. Philpott feeling that one. It's a 3-point ball game with 1 quarter to play in Quebec City. One quarter to go in regulation time at the 55th Vanier Cup at TELUS Stadium in Quebec City. A gorgeous day for football in late November. And this has been one hard-hitting football game. How about this, though? In the third quarter, the Carabin with 125 yards offense. Calgary had only 20. Who would have thought that this struggling offense in Montreal would come out in the second half and be the more productive offense, as Calgary starts with a heavy formation up front. And they'll go on the ground. Pushing upfield, up the gut, it's Robinson Rodriguez for a gain of 6, maybe 7. As we look at the stats after 3 quarters, powered by Wilson.
Just remember, Mark, during that third quarter, the Carabin had the wind at their back. Calgary elected to take it for the long quarter. That's the reason the Carabin passing numbers were up in the third. Expect that to be the same for Calgary in the fourth.
Montreal has had 10 minutes more possession time in this football game. 2nd and 3. Up the gut they go, breaking tackles. It's Rodriguez, hard to bring down as he storms up the field to the 50. And a gain of 20 yards.
Robinson Rodriguez, look out, open field cuts to get free, and then some tough running to drag Hairolamana on his back. He's a Mount Allison transfer, actually played in the Canadian Junior Football League with the Okanagan Sun. Head coach Wayne Harris was looking at a couple other players and stumbled upon Rodriguez.
Pounding the ball again, Rodriguez running roughshod up the gut on 1st and 10. And that's more what we've seen in the playoffs from this big back. And now Calgary in the fourth quarter going to the ground.
Rodriguez slashing off the left side, a wide hole to run through as the Dinos offensive line starting to lean a little bit on that Carabin front.
65 yards rushing so far for Robinson Rodriguez, who gets the start because once again Jeshron Atwee, the great tailback, injured with a fractured wrist for Calgary. 2nd and 2. Rodriguez trying to slide off tackle, and he'll be close to a Calgary first down. But Rodriguez, you know, he was not the featured back in this program. It was Jeshron Atwee, who was a CFL pick. You know, and
that's right, by the Montreal Alouettes in last year's draft. Spent training camp with the Owls, but broke his wrist in a game against the University of Alberta. And ever since then, Rodriguez has been the man in the Calgary backfield.
Here we go. Let's see what this Carabin defense has got. Look at that. 5 men in the Calgary backfield. 3rd down, 1 yard to go. They go for it. It's Josiah Joseph, the backup quarterback and short yardage man at the pivot position, will get the Calgary first down.
Josiah Joseph, the more mobile quarterback for the Calgary Dinos, into the game, runs their short yardage package very well. He'll give way to Adam Sinagra, who comes back on the field with a fresh set of downs after getting the play call from Jabari Arthur, the receivers coach. You can see Joseph just literally goes over the top of his offensive line for the first down.
Joseph came to Calgary, was recruited, and came even though Sinagra was already there. They've become great friends for 3 years. They live together and have supported each other along the way. First down, Sinagra throwing it downfield for Jalen Philpott. He's down and there's flags on the play. Claude Adler-Joseph, who has come in to relieve the injured Marc-Antoine Dequoy, looks like he will be fingered for pass interference.
And the Dinos get him in a one-on-one situation again against their premier playmaker in Jalen Philpott. Sinagra took a shot, but he wanted to get the ball out against the pressure in a man situation. The completion doesn't happen, but they draw the flag.
Montreal. Save.
Oh yeah, it's a mugging. Joseph all over Philpott, and the Calgary bench wants a flag. They get it. And a 15-yard penalty for defensive pass interference for the Sam linebacker, who's come in at defensive back for Dequoy. Pressure again. Sinagra trying to set up the screen. He does, and it's sniffed out for a loss on the play. Sam Rossi, the rush end, makes the tackle for Montreal to stop Rodriguez.
Sinagra knows what Rossi can do well. They played some minor football against one another during their Montreal days when Sinagra grew up on the island. He tries to set up the screenplay to Rodriguez, but Rossi all over it from the get-go.
2nd and 15, and Jalen Philpott comes out of the game for Calgary. Sinagra rolling, throwing downfield. He's got a man wide open. It's complete. And this looks like it'll be a Calgary first down.
Hunter Carl running a deep comeback route to the sideline, and even though it wasn't the prettiest throw from Sinagra, he gets enough on it to get it to the strong side of the field. A little slide drop and then floats it out there to Carl, the former basketball player, going up and getting it for the Calgary Dinos. He was actually recruited to Calgary by their basketball team and found out from
first down, and there goes Rodriguez up the middle for another big first down on the ground. Rodriguez hauling the mail for Calgary.
Rodriguez straight down the middle, wide open spaces, a huge crease there from Rodriguez to gash the Montreal defense.
First and goal from the 9-yard line after that 17-yard rush by Rodriguez. Sinagra throwing a crossing route is complete. Touchdown, Dinos! Hunter Carl hits the end zone on a 9-yard scoring toss from Adam Sinagra.
A spectacular call from offensive coordinator Pat Shane. They have the moving bunch, and Hunter Carl gets confused amongst the Carabin covermen, and he's wide open. Sinagra hits him for a surefire touchdown.
Hunter Carl played only 4 games this season after injuring his shoulder in week 1, and even had a bit of a fracture or a bone chip in his skull. He'll hold for the point after from Nico DeFonte, and it is good. With 10 minutes and 11 seconds to go, the Calgary Dinos build a 10-point lead. And a great outburst here after a sluggish offensive third quarter. The Dinos are now 10 minutes away from the Vanier Cup. The Dinos take the wind in the fourth quarter and march the football 87 yards for a touchdown on this 9-yard scoring pass from Sinagra to Hunter Carl.
The bunch formation, the key there to spring Carl open. Sinagra knows that was a big-time touchdown connection to put the Dinos in the lead by 10.
So after amassing only 20 yards of offense against the wind in the third quarter, they get the wind and drive the field 87 yards for the touchdown. And that's where winning the coin toss has been critical in this football game. Carl Chabot at full speed looking for a seam. He's got some blocks trying to get outside, and he's wrestled on. The ball's loose. Fumbling the ball. Calgary says it's theirs. But was he down on the turf as he crossed the 30? Lucian says it's Calgary football as the officials try to find out. No, it is Montreal football. That would have been devastating, though, had it gone the other way.
A near miscue there for the Montreal Carabin, their super freshman that's been so dynamic in the Vanier Cup so far. Chabot had the edge and gets tackled there by Lucian, knocks the ball loose, shoulder pad on the football, puts it on the ground. But how about Lagacé jumping on it to save the day for Montreal?
How about Noah McDonough of the Dinos looking at the football? It was right in front of him, and he couldn't get there. All right, Dimitri Morin. Can the Carabin come from behind down 10? This is a low-scoring offense that have struggled to put the ball in the end zone this year. There's a slant route to Chabot. He's got it, and he'll be close to the first down as Sterling Taylor makes the tackle for Calgary.
Chabot looking at the official. He wanted enough yardage for a first down. It's going to be second and short as he hauls in another pass. Been the most effective player on offense for Montreal.
Second and short. They'll sneak the football and they'll have the first down. But that's the question now for this Montreal offense. They've looked good in this second half, but they can't score. Can they come back from 10 points down? This is a team that scored 7 touchdowns during the regular season. 10 in the playoffs, albeit against different levels of opposition, to be kind.
Certainly, we have to remember Simoneau missed a field goal early in the game. That would have made it one possession right now in the fourth quarter with under 9 to go.
Anthony Calvillo, the Hall of Famer, at the controls on offense for the Carabin on 1st and 10. Play action. Morin throws it away. What happened there? That was very high and intended for Lucas Vanier, but there is a flag down. Vanier, the freshman from France, and this looks like it's going against the Carabin.
Procedure. Montreal. Déclaré. Deuxième.
Kevin Mickleborough doing well in French here today, the Hamilton native.
Morin just nowhere to go on the play. The Dinos loading the box up against the run.
Did you see the way Best just threw Giroux to the turf? 2nd and 10. Montreal trying to go into the wind, trying to come from behind. Low snap. Dimitri Morin throwing deep down the middle. It's complete to Chabot again. The 5', 7" freshman from Blainville, Quebec, makes another play for this Montreal offense.
Continues to be the star of the game for the Carabin on offense, working in the slot once again. Another in-cut throw on the money from Morin. He beats Joe Kant in coverage to move the chains for Montreal.
So Kant coming in the dime package. And Chabot has been hard to stop. 107 yards in 7 receptions for Chabot, the pint-sized dynamo in this Carabin offense. Here comes the jet sweep. And forced out of bounds. Sterling Taylor making the tackle.
And McDonald chasing it down from behind. The linebacker showing his range. He can go sideline to sideline, getting a little bit of help from his good buddy Taylor on the edge as well to limit that gain.
So it's 2nd down, 7 to go for Montreal. Methodically driving this football in what has become a 2-score football game. As you mentioned, Justin, that missed field goal by Simoneau now beginning to look very glaring indeed.
And it was one that he would likely tell you he should have made, Mark. He's made kicks in clutch games before, big-time games with lots of pressure on the line, so surprising to see that he missed that one early on.
It's a tight-knit football team, this Carabin outfit. 2nd and 7. Calgary rushing only 3. Morin, time. Crossing route is dropped by Chabot. And the first miscue we've seen from him this afternoon, as Montreal has relied on this little receiver for most of their offense.
Yeah, Chabot knew there was a couple of hits coming from either side on that crossing pattern. Morin puts the ball on the money, but you can see Oyasoro there, Delaw on the other side. That would have been a big-time sandwich collision if he had caught the football, and it would have been well short anyway.
Jalen Philbot standing at his 3-yard line as Alain Penverne from Rouen, France. It's a fake. And Montreal trying to pull another one out of the hat, and they think they've got the first down. Oh, Vinci Blandet, Biondet from Lachine, another freshman put into the lineup. And it looks like they've got the 10 yards. We'll have to see the spot.
Byron Archambault, the special teams coordinator for the Montreal Carabin, former standout linebacker and Vanier Cup winner in his own right, dials up another trick play on the punt. We'll get a measurement here.
Oh my goodness, they're short by half the length of a football as the Dinos celebrate. So a turnover on downs, and the Dinos with a 10-point lead will take over on offense when we return to TELUS Stadium in Quebec City. A deflated Montreal sideline as they turn over the ball on downs for the second time on what was oh so close on this fake punt.
Biondi taking the reverse flip, and it looked like it was close, but credit the officials with the call. Biondi's knee was down before he spins around with the football. Precision call there from the line judge. 86 running in to spot it just short.
Oh boy. Tough spot for Danny Machocha in the Caravan. 6:21 and ticking left in the fourth quarter. Calgary back on offense, and Rodriguez is caught behind the line of scrimmage. That's Tommy Mercier, the rookie from Saint-Julie. This is a kid you're going to see a lot from in the next few years, a very promising defensive lineman.
The Cataban really feel like his ceiling is high, all kinds of potential, and you can see there Mercier into the backfield quickly and making a sure tackle on Rodriguez, dragging him down to the turf. Montreal needs to get the football back in their hands of the offense. Solid start on first down for the D.
It's a loss of 5 for Calgary. 2nd and 15, 4-man rush. They'll try to run the ball. Broken tackle there, and a gain of maybe 6 as Rodriguez scampers upfield, but he'll be shy of the original line of scrimmage, and so this stout Montreal defense comes to the aid of the Caravan, will force Calgary to punt.
Calgary clearly playing the clock game, trying to bleed it out as much as they can on that possession, especially after the loss Rodriguez was dropped for on first down.
Chabot on the return. Chabot, 13.
Defonte to punt. 5:31 remaining in the fourth quarter. And Calgary with a 10-point lead. Carl Chabot, the pint-size receiver and returner, is back alone for the Caravan. Do they bring the block? Very close. A line drive. Chabot's got it at his 48. Chabot at full speed breaks a tackle and crosses to the 45-yard line. Oh, he's a daring kick returner as he takes that one in full flight to give Montreal good field position on Calgary's side of center when we come back to the 55th Vanier Cup in Quebec City. There's the Vanier Cup, all set to be awarded here in Quebec City with 5:08 to play, and Calgary with a 20-10 lead.
It's
and
in the building.
Montreal nearly getting a block on that last punt attempt by Defonte.
The Cataban loaded up against Defonte. He just gets it off. You can see 56 there. Charpentier diving into your screen.
27-yard punt, a 17-yard return by Chabot. That's a 10-yard net on the play. Here's Morin out of the backfield. Giroux has the ball at full tilt. He'll get outside for a gain of 14 and a first down for Montreal. But can this low-scoring offense find the wherewithal to come back with 5 minutes to go?
It seems like they have a shot with the way Morin has played today. Draws in the defensive lineman, the free man on the play, dumps it off to Giroux, who gets out into the open field and moves the chains for Montreal as they start to find a rhythm on offense.
First down at the 31 of Calgary. Dimitri Morin and the Caravan. Morin back to pass, throwing it across the middle. It's complete to Chabot, and he'll scoot ahead for what looks like another Montreal first down.
It's either number 29 Giroux or number 13 Chabot for the Montreal offense as they go back and forth, trading, making plays. A little sit-down route, curl route in the middle of the field. Morin on the money for Montreal.
Montreal on the edge of the red zone. 4 minutes and counting to go here in the fourth quarter. Morin in a 5-receiver set, throwing to the wide side. It's Chabot again. He's got the ball, hustles upfield. Look at him break tackles. He's 5'7", and he gets another first down.
So that's 4 Sterling on the top.
Chabot showing height, doesn't measure heart. The little man bringing the physicality in the Vanier Cup. Little screen pass and hits it up in there, breaking tackles against linebackers and defensive backs for a first down.
Chabot with 9 catches, 127 yards in this football game. Danny Machocha and the Caravan marching now, first and goal from the 8-yard line of Calgary. Moran, play action, throwing the slant for Chabot. It's incomplete. Jacob Biggs all over him.
Chabot looking around for a flag. Danny Machocha certainly wants one too, but it doesn't come for Montreal, who thought there was some contact on the play. Morin, a little play action fake, trying to sling it in there to Chabot. Only can get one hand on it. Jacob Biggs there in tight coverage for the Calgary Dinos.
Tensions rising. 2nd and goal from the 8. Carabin really need a touchdown here. 2:50 left in the game. Out of the backfield, a drop pass. Giroux dropped the ball, and he was open. Now what do you do? 3rd down, do you take the field goal, or do you try to go for the touchdown? Do you take the points? Oh, Giroux.
There was pressure coming. Giroux was open in the flats. If he catches that football, certainly a decent opportunity there to pick up the 1st down. But
oh my goodness,
takes his eye off the ball and it hits the turf.
We have reached the 3-minute warning, and Danny Machocha can hardly believe it. 3rd and goal from the 8 at the Vanier Cup. The 2019 U Sports Vanier Cup is brought to you by Pro Mutual Insurance, proud presenting sponsor of the Vanier Cup. Wilson, the official football of U Sports. The Globe and Mail, national media partner of U Sports. Nike Team, official performance apparel provider to U Sports. Fox 40, proud sponsor of the U Sports Coach of the Year Awards. And by Sport Canada, funding partner of U Sports. Back at the 55th Vanier Cup, it was the Carabin who scored the first touchdown of this game, a controversial one indeed, as Malky got to the goal line. Then Sinagra throwing a deep corner to Jalen Philpott in double coverage. And then he finds one of his favorites, Hunter Carl, on the 9-yard slant, and it's 20-10 with 2:46 to go. The Dinos in front. The Carabin have sent their field goal team onto the field to take the points here, with Louis-Philippe Simoneau attempting this chip shot from the 16-yard line. The Vanier Cup is on the field as members of the Canadian military and their red surge make their way to the sidelines, and a tension-filled finale awaits. Myron Archambault, the special teams coordinator, sending signals into his team, but look at this. The Vanier Cup awaits a champion. Louis-Philippe Simoneau from the 16. Ball is up and good. So a 1-score game now. Calgary leading Montreal 20-13. Can this Montreal defense stop the Dinos, get the ball back? And the way Montreal's offense has been moving, who knows what kind of a finish we're in for.
The last time Calgary had the football, it was 2 carries to Robinson Rodriguez, and the Carabin defense stood tall. They're going to have to do it once again here to get the ball back to their offense, and full credit to Dimitri Morin and Anthony Calvillo's group. Mark, lots of questions about them scoring and even moving the football coming in, but they've done a pretty solid job here today to be within a 1-score game.
They've done it every which way, running, passing, the wildcat, fake punts. It's just, they pulled out all the tricks here today against this powerhouse from Calgary. Both teams huddling up here. What do? Do you kick it deep? Do you short kick it? Do you get it deep and hope that you can hold the Calgary offense and get the ball back?
If it were me, I'd be kicking it deep, use Simoneau's leg to try to pin that Dinos unit back deep, because your defense has been playing well for most of the game. Sinagra has shown he can pick them apart, but you would imagine they're going to play the clock game and run the ball, so kick it deep and try to get some nice field position for the football if it goes back to the offense.
Dean Leonard and Hunter Carl are back to receive the kickoff with 2:34 to go in the football game. Simoneau puts it up, and it's Leonard at his 12-yard line. Dean Leonard tripped up as he crosses the 25. So that's where Adam Sinagra, the Chateauguay native, who was not drafted, or at least not offered a scholarship or recruited by any of the big French schools in Quebec. Montreal, Laval didn't go for him. And you know, this really is something he wants to win in Laval-Provence. It was Danny Machotu who said during the press conference, Justin, that when Sinagra started speaking in French, had I known he could speak French, I may have recruited him. But only McGill and Bishops in Quebec recruited Sinagra, Calgary and Carleton outside of Quebec. And of course, this is his final game as a Dino. They'll stay on the ground, and Rodriguez is stopped for a 1-yard gain. And a big tackle by Reda Kramdi at the Sam linebacker position.
The Dinos playing the clock game, keeping the ball on the ground on first down. Little power play to the right side, but he's chopped down by Kramdi for a small gain of just a couple.
Wow, this defense, they're a band of brothers. They go out every Wednesday night for hot dogs. They're marauders. They really pick each other up, and now a big play on 2nd and 9. Sinagra against the blitz downfield, looking for Tyson Philpott. He's got it! Oh, a diving catch! Tyson Philpott to the 52-yard line and a Calgary first down.
Tyson Philpott matched up one-on-one backside against Bellal, number 9, and Sinagra identifies it and puts the ball on the money. Look at the athletic ability. Philpott laying out to go and get it for his Heck Crichton Trophy winning quarterback. That play potentially could have been the backbreaker against the Montreal Canadiens.
43 yards through the air. Sinagra to Tyson Philpott. Here comes Montreal in the blitz. They'll stay on the ground, Calgary will, and Rodriguez is going nowhere as he's stacked up as he just crosses the line of scrimmage for maybe a gain of 1 on the play.
There's been so much attention on Jalen Philpott, the other twin brother, and rightfully so, first team All-Canadian in 2019, but we can't forget Tyson Philpott was an all-star in his own right as a freshman. He was the more dynamic of the two in his first year in 2018, showing you why right there in the Vanier Cup, laying out full scale to get it for his quarterback.
1:38 to go. 2nd and 7. Calgary Dinos after the 3-yard carry by Rodriguez. This Montreal defense desperate to get the ball back, but Sinagra, that great passing form. The Heck Crichton winner from a year ago who broke the U Sports record with more than 3,200 yards passing, coming back this year with a balanced offense and wanting the one thing that has eluded him in college football, a Vanier Cup. And if he can win it on Quebec soil, that would be the sweetest way for him to cap a spectacular 5-year career.
And you got to remember, we can go back to the Hardy Cup semifinal. The Dinos won by 1 point. It came down to a 2-point play. It was so close that Sinagra's career literally flashed before his eyes. He was crying on the sideline after the game because he knew how close it was. Des Catelier heaves it up. The Bisons tip it back. Tristan Dice,
perfect. Johnny
on the spot, takes it into the end zone. Head coach Brian Doby elects to go for 2 instead of go to overtime. The pass is intercepted by 5th-year man Nick Stats, and that is the reason why the Dinos are in the Vanier Cup.
That's how close they came to being derailed. The last play. Now, Sinagra across the middle. It's complete. Both's got it, but he's tackled short of the first down. Oh, Bruno Lagacé from Montreal with a shoestring tackle.
Sinagra finds both on the crossing route yet again. That's been a staple play in the offense for the Dinos today in the Vanier Cup. Looked like he had his step, but Lagacé wraps up those legs and keeps him short of what would have been a first down, if not even more, for the Calgary Dinos.
So the administration student makes a big tackle. It's 3rd and 3, so DeFonte is out to punt. Calgary trying to pin Montreal deep in their own end with 1 minute and 32 seconds to go. The ball is out of Sinagra's hands now. And he'll have to rely and hope on his defense can bring this victory here in Quebec City.
13 Chabot.
It's Carl Chabot, the dangerous receiver and returner, the lone man back for Montreal. And do they bring the block again? Do they try to get a piece of this punt? They have forced DeFonte to have some shanked punts in this second half with their pressure. They're setting up the return. It's a line drive. Chabot takes it out of the air at his own 10-yard line. Carl Chabot looking for a seam. Tries to get outside, nowhere to go. Still on his feet, and he's bulldozed all the way back to his goal line. What punt cover by the Dinos. We'll have to see where they mark his forward progress, but this might be just absolutely terrible field position. Looks like they're going to bring it out to about the 7.
Chabot does a great job to even catch that football in the air. They had the field side, wide side return, set up a credit the Calgary Dinos cover team, stringing that out and stopping Chabot and backing up the Montreal offense.
Now an offense that scored but 7 touchdowns during the regular season has to drive the length of the football field to win this football game, at least to get it into a tie. They're down by 7. 2013 with 1:17 to go in regulation time. Morin at his goal line, throwing a crosser. It's tipped and nearly intercepted.
Sterling Taylor had his hands on the football for the Calgary Dinos. That could have sealed it as Morin thrown into zone coverage. An underneath defender got his hand on the ball. That's Ross DeLaw. Taylor, excuse me, on the tip, couldn't come up with it for the Calgary Dinos. That would have ended the ball game right there.
American cornerback transferred from Murray State to join the Dinos. Is 2nd and 10 from the 8-yard line. Montreal. Again, Morin across the middle and broken up. Intended for Tristan Fitzcoso. And so it's down to 3rd down and 10. Montreal with 1:05 to go.
Matt Lasician on the coverage there for the Calgary Dinos. In cut, but he jumps the route, almost picks it off, but makes sure to knock it down out of harm's way.
Last gasp here, 3rd down at the 8. Dimitri Morin checking the play at the line of scrimmage. They need this. They need a 1st down or it's over. Morin against a 4-man rush. That's away. It's complete to Kaya, but does he have enough? I don't think so. And he's hauled to the turf. Calgary denies Montreal deep in their own end.
Montreal drawing it up, the crossing route to Kaya. They tried to set up a flip back to Giroux, but it goes for naught. Calgary sniffed it out. There's a flag on the field.
There's a flag on the play. The officials are conferencing. Kaya has not been a factor in this football game.
After the play, Rudez, roughing, Montreal.
Okay.
Premier essay.
So the tempers flare as they celebrate on the Calgary Dino sideline. What a defensive stand late in the game with 56.4 seconds to go.
Moret crossing pattern to Kaya, and it's clear they were setting up a trick play. He flipped it back on the lateral. Last gasp effort from the Carabin to try and get the yardage needed for a 1st down, but it's not to be as Matt Lasician and his Dinos defensive teammates celebrate.
3rd turnover on downs by Montreal. And so Calgary sets up with 56.4 seconds to go. 1st down at the Montreal 4. Sinagra will put it on the ground. Touchdown. Dinos to seal this victory. Robinson Rodriguez is mobbed in the end zone as he crashes over from 4 yards out. This Calgary Dino team has been so dominant over the last decade. You look at their record of performance this year, finishing at 6-2, then going 3-0 en route in the playoffs to this Vanier Cup. They finished first in 8 of the last 9 years in the Can West Conference. They've won 9 of the past 12 Hardy Cups. And it's Rodriguez that puts an exclamation mark on this Vanier Cup championship, which is mere seconds away. Defonte with the point after to make it 27-13. But this has been the team in waiting for the last decade. Their 5th appearance since 2009. And they haven't been able to win it until today in this decade of excellence, but a decade of frustration. And our Nike game changer is quarterback Adam Sinagra of the Calgary Dinos, who comes home to Quebec to lead his team to victory in his final game as a college football player in U Sports competition. Sinagra with an outstanding afternoon, completing 23 of 29 passes for 305 yards, a touchdown. Wow.
2 touchdowns on the day, one earlier to Jalen Philpott on the corner route, the second coming in the 4th quarter.
Right,
that really extended that Dinos lead. Sinagra, the 5th-year senior, rising to the occasion even through all the injuries that he sustained in the playoff run.
Sinagra, who left the Hardy Cup with injured ribs and did not return. Reports that he needed some painkillers to get through practice leading up to the Mitchell Bowl.
Just freeze it up a little bit so he can't feel it.
His fingers broken on his left hand. And this is one tough quarterback. He would not be denied. Came back and defeated McMaster in that hard-fought Mitchell Bowl at home to get here to the Vanier Cup. Malky and Shabbat are back in their end zone, as with the penalty, the kick will come from the Montreal 50, and Defonte sends it deep. The Caravan will get it out of the end zone as Shabbat finds a seam. Carl Shabbat trying to get outside, and Defonte, the kicker, will take him down and out of touch with 43.3 seconds to go in the football game. What a day Shabbat has had for these Caravan in his first season in U Sports football. Receiving, running, returning kicks. He's been their best player.
Shabbat 9 catches for 128 yards on the day, as you mentioned as well, Mark. Dangerous in the receiving game and return game as a rusher as well. Was the go-to guy for Montreal. Kept them in this game for a long time.
Montreal announcing Danny Machocha an hour and a half before kickoff that he would not be able to dress his other quarterback, Frederic Paquette-Perreault, who was instrumental in the playoffs for the Caravan and their second best running back. He could not go today, and Dimitri Morin has played a great game, really played hard. His pass is knocked down as Grant McDonald drops into coverage for Calgary. But Morin moved the ball in that second half, that 3rd quarter with the win. Missed field goals, missed chances when they had to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns too.
That's right, and they even got the fortunate call on the goal line when Malky was stood up in the hole by number 9 Grant McDonald. That ball might not have crossed the end zone, but it didn't end up hurting the Calgary Dinos.
Most of the 8,463 fans have left the building here as the Quebec team is about to go down to defeat. That pass intended for Shabbat. It's all Shabbat, it seems, on this offense today, and it's incomplete to make it 3rd down.
It's been pretty much Shabbat or not for the Montreal Caravan offense. Giroux has played a big role as well.
Danny Machocha in his 3rd appearance in this championship game in 6 years. He won it in 2014, lost it in 2015, and this will be a tough one to swallow in 2019. 3rd down from the Montreal 35. Morin with time across the middle, and Kevin Kaya holds on to the football, and he'll have a 1st down. The Caravan were unable really to take advantage of Kayan's great leaping ability and his speed here today. He was not a factor.
He wasn't. That's partly due to the Calgary Dinos secondary. He's got that size and ability to go up and get the football, but we saw a couple times when they tried to go down the field to Kaya, Sterling Taylor and Dean Leonard in tight coverage knock balls away. Nick Stats as well.
On first down, Dimitri Morin. Throwing downfield, and it's intercepted. Jacob Biggs picks off the Montreal quarterback to cap this outcome. The Dinos are going home with the Vanier Cup. Wayne Harris celebrating in that jubilant throng on the Calgary bench. He was here in 2016, was beaten by Laval in the championship game. And in his 5th season as head coach, he will be a Vanier Cup champion. Look at this, the coach with a bear hug, and the celebration is on in Cowtown. You know, Wayne Harris Jr. has been a part of this program for more than 40 years. He gets the ice bath, the Gatorade bath, but more than 40 years as a player, as an assistant coach, as an alumnus, as a defensive coordinator, and now as the head coach.
The Dinos coaching staff puts in long, hard hours, and it pays off.
The clock ticks to 0. The Dinos are dynamite, winning the Vanier Cup in Quebec City with a 27-13 victory over Montreal. For the first time since 1995, the Vanier Cup will reside in Calgary. The Dinos never trailed in this football game. They opened with a couple of field goals, then got their offense going. Check that as the Carabin had a good start here, and then it was the Dinos coming back to take over as we go to the sidelines, and here's Andy.
Thank you, Mark. Wayne, you've been a part of this organization for 4 decades, player and coach. You were a part of the team that won in 1995, and now the drought is over. How does it feel?
That feels fantastic. So excited for everybody in our organization, the players, the coaches. Everybody's just contributed so much to this, and very thankful.
Well, yesterday when I said to you, are you aware of the narrative of only 2 teams in the West have won since 2007? You said, yeah, we're aware, but we're not really thinking about it. Are you thinking about it now that you are a team from the West who has won this for the 3rd time in 12 years?
Well, I don't know. I'm just excited for everybody right now, and excited for all the fans and everyone that has been supportive of our organization for so many years. And thank you to the Quebec and Laval and Christian for all of the work that they did with the Vanier Cup. They're such excellent hosts. Really appreciate it.
One more just on Sinagra. I know there are a lot of guys in their final year, but just him, your quarterback, final year, going out as a champion.
It's great to see. Adams meant so much to this program, to our team. He came in as a freshman, had to take on a huge role when Jimmy Underdahl went down, and he finished it off today where he left off in his freshman year. So great to see.
Celebrate with your team. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You know, the Dinos, I'll correct myself, had that one trailing moment by 1.76 earlier in this football game. And then Adam Sinagra really found his groove. At one point, he completed 83% of his passes. So the Quebec native comes home to win his first Vanier Cup in his final game. And this is Dan Machocha talking to his defeated players. What a great year they've had. It's been an up and down year, trying to get through a new offense, losing their key quarterback coming into this game, and giving Calgary everything they could handle. Let's go back downstairs, and here's Andy.
All right, thank you. Obviously, a lot of celebration still going on here. The Calgary Dinos being crowned the Vanier Cup champions. Adam Sinagra with me now. And you have so much accolades to your name already as far as holding records, winning the Hec Crichton, but how does it feel now to know that you're a Vanier Cup champion?
Man, I'm at a loss for words right now. It's a surreal feeling. I'm so proud of these guys, man. We've battled all year. It hasn't been easy, and it certainly wasn't today. And you know, we said if we played together, and we played complementary football, that we'd be the victors. And I'm just, you know, I'm in awe right now. It's to go out like this, you couldn't have drawn up a better picture.
That's been the narrative, though, the injuries beginning of the year. I know you dealt with some, and then you see Charlie Moore go down here. What was said on the sideline just to rally the troops and make sure everyone stayed in it?
To see that warrior go down, Charlie, he's one of our fearless leaders. He's one of our best players on our, what is this?
Oh, are we? MVP. You're being honored right there. MVP by the fans.
Yeah, I mean, to see Charlie go down like that, it was tough for our team. You know, he's been with us through the whole year, and he's one of our leaders, and it's just, you know, we just have to keep going. You know, do it for him, do it for our team, you know, do it for everyone that's been injured throughout the season, and everyone that's injured now. And, you know, this is for all the Dinos out there, all the alumni, everyone that's been a part of our program, man. 25 years, we're bringing it home.
You did. You broke the drought. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Adam Sinagra, you know, he adapted this year. He gave up that gun shooting offense and worked in that more balanced offense that Pat Sheehan had brought to Calgary as the new offensive coordinator. He wins this championship in his final game as a college athlete, and now he'll be eligible for the 2020 CFL draft. What do you think is possible for this quarterback? Is he someone who might be able to get to the CFL?
He's going to have an opportunity. You look at one of his coaches, Andrew Buckley, was a backup with the Calgary Dinos a couple years ago before he retired to go to medical school. Sinagra, some feel, is really in the same mold. He'll certainly be drafted. The Calgary Stampeders are right there, and they developed Buckley as well. So with Sinagra putting up over 3,000 yards a year ago and then ending his career with a Vanier Cup championship, CFL teams are going to be coming after Sinagra and scouting him heavily.
305 yards through the air for Adam Sinagra in his final game as a university football player. 2 touchdown passes. A team that trailed for 4 minutes and 5 seconds by 1 point in this entire football game. Sinagra was in command throughout, and he delivers the Vanier Cup to the Calgary Dinos. Scott?
Thanks very much, Mark. Back with Mike Moriali and Jesse Lumsden. 27-13, the Calgary Dinos win the Vanier Cup over the Montreal Carabin. You know, the Dinos had been to the Vanier Cup 5 times in the last 10 seasons. They finally get a win of the Cup. It's the 5th in history. By the way, ISL swimming in the European Derby coming up from London, the UK, following the awarding of the Vanier Cup. What did it was that 87-yard drive in the 4th quarter that took them to 20 points.
We talked about at halftime the momentum and how important that's going to be. And when you're able to put together an 87-yard drive, and they did get a little help from some pass interference that helped them march quite a ways down the field. You know, some people are concerned whether that was a call or not, but either way, Sinagra goes back to work, finding Hunter Carl on the sidelines. And this is what we talked about, that balanced offense. Using the pass, which is setting up the run. Rodriguez gets a nice downhill run for another first down, which sets up Sinagra to go to the underneath route to Hunter Carl, just trotting into the end zone to take him to 20 and really separate that gap for the Dinos with that lead.
Yeah, Hunter Carl, the former basketball player from Okotoks, Alberta. And Mike, we talked about the balanced offense that Calgary had built over the course of the season. And Robinson Rodriguez carried the ball, and that's important. He averaged more than 100 yards per game in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that's Coach Pat Sheehan did a fantastic job mixing it up. They were very pass happy in the first half. They moved to the run game. Rodriguez shouldered the load. He had 4 carries in the first half, 12 in the second half, 3 times more commitment to the run, and that really paid off. It kind of weakened this Montreal defense a little bit, took time off the clock, and then obviously gave an opportunity for Rodriguez to get into the end zone. So well played by that Dino offense.
Robinson Rodriguez, a 4th-year man from Burnaby, British Columbia. Okay. You know, take nothing away from the tiny man in this football game. I'm talking about a first-year player for Montreal. That's Carl Chabot. He was all over it from the get-go, and he had a great game.
He really did. Chabot stepped right in. He made some terrific plays, had some returns, did a lot of great things with the football every time he touched it. Everybody knew the ball was going to him, and he was still making the play. So hats off to someone that really played their hearts out today.
5'7" on the sheets for stats-wise, but big players show up in big games, and Chabot did exactly that. Even though, you know, on the losing end of the Vanier Cup, he has a big future as a Montreal Carabin, and I expect to hear his name called a lot in the future. Big time plays all game long, and exactly everybody knew where the ball was going. And he, like you said, he still got it done.
Carl Chabot of Blainville, Quebec for the Carabins of Montreal. Just a little bit short today as the Dinos win the Vanier Cup at 27-13 over Montreal. Take a look at this record for the Dinos. They last won in 1995 over Western, by the way. 5 trips in the last 10 years. They had lost their last 4 appearances. In 2009 to Queens and 3 times to Laval along the way. Their 11th appearance at the Vanier Cup. They now have a 5-6 record. The first time they win since 1995. And weigh on this, Adam Sinagra, the MVP, gets the Vanier Cup. He'd won everything else. This guy has been a big-time quarterback for this team for a long time.
He certainly has. He was the Heck Creighton winner a couple years ago, came into an offense. He struggled a little bit because, now you shouldn't say struggle, he had to stop throwing the ball as much as he would have liked, but he certainly came out today and did what a former Heck Creighton winner can do, and that is put the team on his shoulders and lead him to victory.
You know what, Jesse, you've been around that Calgary Dino team a little bit, living out in Calgary. It must have weighed on them quite a bit that they'd gotten to the precipice but hadn't been able to get over it.
Kings of the West for an absolutely number of years and have been dominant. This was an interesting season for them, though, because they weren't perfect. They had injuries. They had hurdles to get over. Adam Sinagra was banged up going into the playoffs. Other guys were banged up going into the playoffs. And they rallied together, utilized each other to the best that they possibly could. And that's really what helps them in those games like that. I truly believe that broken fingers, broken ribs, you know, in big games, and as we said about Chabot, Sinagra did a great job. And what I was very impressed with is he kept his composure the whole time until the interview after the game. And that's when he got fired up for the first time. So, you know, very impressive to see how he's able to cap off his career like that.
Mike, do you want to say a little bit about Tyson and Jalen Philpott? I mean, all season long and for the last 2 seasons, they've been key to the Calgary offense. They had a couple of big plays today. They're going to be important to the team for a long time to come.
They're going to be important to the team for quite a while, and don't doubt they don't get a look, you know, after their career is done with the Dinos. You got to feel really good for these guys. They made some big plays. Tyson comes in late, makes a big catch. You know, he's got his big brother. It's big. They're both the same age, but the brother Jalen pulling out all the stops in the first half was very good to see.
All right, so it's a 27-13 victory for the Calgary Dinos over the Montreal Carabins. Right now, we're going back to Quebec City for the presentation of the Vanier Cup. Once again, Mark Lee and Justin Dunk.
The Dinos have surrounded the stage at center field here at TELUS Stadium in Quebec City. And it's time to decorate these great champions, the Calgary Dinos, defeating the Montreal Carabins 27-13 in the 55th Vanier Cup.
Good evening, good afternoon, I should say. It's getting dark here at TELUS Stadium for the awards trophy. Dans un premier temps, mesdames et messieurs, nous allons procéder à la présentation du trophée Bruce Coulter. First, we're going to present the winner of the Bruce Coulter Trophy. I'm going to ask Mr. Adam Ashton, Chief of Operations at U-Sport, chef des opérations U-Sport, de présenter le trophée Bruce Coulter au gagnant. Je vous rappelle que le trophée est nommé en mémoire de Bruce Coulter, qui est entraîneur-chef à McGill et Bishop et directeur à Bishop pendant 30 ans. In memory of Bruce Coulter, head football coach at both McGill and Bishop Universities and director of athletics and Bishops for 30 years. Le gagnant du trophée Bruce Coulter, the winner of the Bruce Coulter Trophy from Montreal, number 1, Reda Kramzi. I'll ask Reda to say a few words. Je vais demander à Reda de dire quelques mots. J'imagine que c'est des sentiments partagés pour toi d'avoir vu
le parcours arrivé si à court au dernier match. En même temps, tu as joué un match exceptionnel. You had a great game in a losing game. So what are your thoughts and comments?
The offense of Calgary had a good game, and congratulations. And we'll get back to work, and hopefully we'll come next year, man.
C'est ta 3e année avec les Carabins. Au niveau éligibilité, tu as été un des leaders de l'équipe. Vous avez fait beaucoup de chemin. Parle-nous du parcours de ton équipe. You had a great year. You lost a couple of games at the middle of the season, and then afterwards it went up. You had great playoffs. Maybe comment on that?
Tout le mérite revient à Brian Armelimana. Il a fait un excellent job de nous garder tous ensemble et de push through the whole season. We had a lot of adversity, and I'm proud of the guys, man.
Reda, je te remercie, je te félicite. En même temps, garde la tête haute. Un excellent match. Bravo pour ta saison. Merci. Congratulations. Reda Kramzi, mesdames, messieurs. Maintenant, pour remettre le trophée Ted Morris Memorial, I'll ask the first winner of the Ted Morris Memorial Trophy is with us today. He was the MVP in the Vanier Cup final in 1965. Il était le joueur par excellence à gagner le Ted Morris Memorial Trophy en 1965 à la Coupe Vanier. Mr. Joel Sternberg, please welcome Mr. Sternberg. Remis en l'honneur de Ted Morris, ex-joueur et entraîneur des Argonauts de Toronto. Morris était un ardent promoteur du développement des jeunes Canadiens en vue d'une carrière au football. Nous allons donc présenter maintenant le gagnant du trophée Ted Morris. Here is the Ted Morris Memorial Trophy winner from the Calgary Dinos, the Dinos de Calgary, number 12, Adam Sinagra. Adam Sinagra, mesdames, messieurs. I'll ask Adam, je vais demander à Adam de nous dire quelques mots. Adam, tu es natif de la région de Montréal. Tu es allé, you went to the Dinos to play your football, so veux-tu nous partager tes commentaires avec une victoire exceptionnelle aujourd'hui? What are your thoughts after the great win today?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it in English here because I love each and every one of these guys, man. Like, we've battled so hard, you know, all the fifth years. Man, we did it. We did it for everyone. Everyone that's been a part of this program, the alumni, everyone that's put, you know, work into this. It's been 25 years and we're bringing it home, baby.
Un grand travail d'équipe. Grand travail d'équipe. Tous les capitaines, les joueurs de l'équipe, les coachs ont fait un travail exceptionnel là, pour ramener à la maison après 25 ans la Coupe Vanier. So I guess I'm going to have to present now with the team captains and Lisette Johnson-Stapley. Maintenant, pour la présentation, hold on guys, I know you're in a hurry, pour la présentation de la Coupe Vanier, for the Vanier Cup Trophy. Here is Lisette Johnson-Stapley, Chief Sport Officer of U-Sport. Just back up. Les gagnants de la Coupe Vanier, les Calgary Dinos. Calgary Dinos, 50-50 Vanier Cup winners. Les gagnants de la 55e édition de la Coupe Vanier.
Hoist the Vanier Cup for the 5th time in their history. And for the first time in 5 trips in the past 11 years, it's been frustration after frustration, ending a 4-game Vanier Cup losing streak to win the title here tonight in Quebec City by a score of 27-13 over the Montreal Carabins. And Justin Duck, the Dinos had made 6 trips to Quebec prior to this in 12 years and had never won a football game. 3 of them in Vanier Cups, 1 in a semifinal and 2 exhibition games, and finally they get that jinx off their back.
It was a long time coming to get a win in Quebec City for the Calgary Dinos. Full team effort gets it done. Yes, Adam Sinagra, the MVP of the game for Calgary, leads the way, but this was a complete football team that has stars in every facet of the game.
You followed this team throughout the regular season. You saw the injuries that they had to deal with and how they managed to get through all of those to come to this game with perhaps their best lineup of the season.
That's right, and especially a lot of those injuries were sustained in the playoffs by Adam Sinagra. Took a shot that knocked him out of the Hardy Cup, had a rib injury, had to be frozen up for the Mitchell Bowl against McMaster, but you couldn't tell based on his performance. Has broken fingers on his left hand that he had to have taped together, suffered a concussion in the regular season, so he's battled through a lot to finally be able to hoist that Vanier Cup.
So much talk about the Lavals and the Westerns, but where would you put the Calgary program in perspective? A team that has been here so often, has been perennially one of the best in the country, and now they win it.
They're right up there as one of the elite programs in the country. All they needed to do was get their hands on the Vanier Cup, because that's what the Westerns and Lavals and Montreals have done in recent years. McMaster comes to mind as well, being in that group, especially with Stefan Potasic back leading the way. So the Dinos put an exclamation point that they are, in fact, one of the elite with a Vanier Cup here in 2019.
They traveled all this way to Quebec City. They had to leave on the Monday because their dressing room was being taken over by Keith Urban, who will be the halftime entertainment in tomorrow's Grey Cup. But nothing threw them off. They made the trip. They got to their hotel. They practiced really well. They were so well prepared. And they win the Vanier Cup with a 27-13 victory over Montreal. And now they can celebrate. Scott?
Great celebration. Thanks so much to Mark Lee, Justin Dunk, and Andy Petrillo out there at TELUS Stadium in Quebec City as the Dinos take the Vanier Cup 27-13 over the Montreal Carabins. You know, the National University Football Championship is a big game, as we said at the outset of the show, Jesse, and this one lived up to its billing.
Great teams, great stories, great athletes. Great football. If you're able to watch it all, you saw all sorts of actors come into play, and it wasn't one-sided, which makes it awesome. And the venue as well. Tip of the hat to Laval Rougier for putting on a great performance for the 55th Vanier Cup.
And Mike, a lot of those Calgary Dinos had waited a long time, not the least of which was their coach, Wayne Harris.
Well, you got to feel for Wayne Harris Jr. You know, he comes from one of the top football families in the country. This is someone that, you know, his father was a legend on both sides of the border. He was part of the last Vanier Cup winning team in '95 and now does it again.
Fantastic. Great football game. Mike Moriali, Jesse Lumsden, been great working with you. The Calgary Dinos win the Vanier Cup for the 5th time in their history. The national title is heading back west to the Stampede City.